Hello, this is our deep dive where we dig up the dirt to find some gold. And today we're going over Cop Kamala, the progressive law enforcement officer. But yeah, let's see where this goes. 'Cause
And
the cop is leading the hippie party.
20 seconds in,
Amazing
barely
world we
got through
live in.
that sentence. God,
Yeah,
progressive cop. So, yeah, we're doing a
this
deep dive.
oxymoron
We
is
learning we learning about
hmm,
potentially the next president and the first female president ever. Oh man, it could have been Elizabeth Warren. You know what? I'm gonna just get it out of the way real quick. Just get my axe to grind. It could have been Elizabeth Warren, but no, that snake betrayed Bernie, and now she gets to be senator forever. Ha 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 ha
hmm,
ha. That's what you get. Stay in the grass. Anyway,
yeah. I think Elizabeth Warren would have been better on economic issues for sure.
I'm
But
better on basically everything.
yeah,
Damn
pretty
near,
much.
damn near everything. I am
The
hard
closest you can get
pressed,
to with Bernie without being Bernie.
basically. And she's a woman. It's just like
Maybe
added
AOC would be
points.
closer,
Oh,
but
ASC would be
like
great, but
AOC is not closer to the presidency. I'll say that. In terms of people who are in the
AOC's getting
parameter.
there. She's getting there in terms of charisma, though. Like especially with her committee hearing, she's getting good at that type of thing. A little
Yeah.
bit more ways to go, but she could be senator one day. I could see it. Anyway, let's. But we're not talking about her, someone who I like. We're talking about someone we are surprised about.
Hmm.
So we've done a lot of research on Kamala, and we've looked at her past, and you'd be a little shocked. She has a lot of scandals in her background and a surprisingly decent amount of bills she's either pushed for or has actually gotten acted. Even her time as VP is somewhat notable. It's kind of weird. So, where do we start? We're going to start with her background first before we get into all that political stuff, because there's a lot. Let's start with her background. Who is Kamala Harris? Well, Kamala Harris. Shit. Oops. Kamala Harris was born on October 20th, 1964, Oakland, California. She. What was it? Let's see. She was
Oakland.
Oakland, yeah.
California native by
California
birth.
native. That means that she's probably evil.
But
Almost.
she didn't always stay in California.
She did
No
not.
sorry.
For a little while, she was in Canada. She moved on there. She moved up there after her parents separated, and eventually she came back. But I'm trying to see.
Yeah, so her mother was a cancer research, I think specifically for breast cancer, and her dad was an economist who came over from Jamaica. The mother's Indian. So if people are questioning her blackness, well, I guess it's up to you to decide whether or not Jamaican is black. I would say Jamaican is black.
Her father's name was Donald J. Harris, a
Mm.
Stanford University professor of economics who arrived from the United States, or sorry, to the United States from Jamaica in 1961. So that's not kind of interesting. And
Yeah.
let's see. And who was her mother? Let's see. Is there anything about her mother?
Yeah. Her mother was a biologist, cancer researcher.
Nice. Do we have her name?
I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
Names don't matter here. Your occupation does.
Her name was oh, Jesus Christ.
I
I have limits.
I was going to say like I don't know if I can
I have
pronounce
I have
name.
limits. I have limits. Okay.
Yes.
Anyways. Anyways. But yeah, she was a biomedical student at the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, whose work is isolating and characterizing the progesterone receptor gene, stimulated advances in breast biology and oncology. God damn. So, two pretty high achieving parents, as you can see.
Yeah.
She's
Certainly
also
not a low income background. You
certainly
know?
not the lowest of the low. Another
No.
interesting point is she spent a good amount of her time in Canada. She spent, let's see,
Yeah.
she spent her teen years in Montreal. It says. Let's see. I'm trying to find her actual like.
So she didn't
She lived
exactly
in it
say to
from
the
1976 to 1982, with while
Yeah,
her
so
mother worked as a researcher at the Montreal Jewish General Hospital and taught at McGill University. Basically, here's the problem I have with this. Here's the real controversy that no one's really talking about Kamala. Before we get into all the other scandals, she's really Canadian when you think about it.
her formative years were not spent in the US of A.
God no, they
This
were.
is the true dirt today.
Yeah, she's a goddamn Canadian. Look, we
Who
didn't.
cares about sending people to jail for truancy? Let's look at her time as a fucking Canadian. All right, that's the true problem here. Uh,
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying is what was this? Is Ted? Wasn't it Ted Cruz who was also from Canada or something like that? Didn't we have one of those guys who wasn't?
yeah, Ted Cruz also had like not exactly an American background. Same thing with what was it? Was it Romney or was it McCain? Technically was born on a territory, but that
Oh,
doesn't matter
he was born in a
because
territory.
they're Republican.
Oh,
Yeah, so nobody questions their ability to be American. That and they're also white, so like it's easier to just be like, well, of course, you know.
look, if
How
you're
could you be
born,
born elsewhere?
look. We couldn't let Ted Cruz run for fucking president because he's a goddamn Canadian. I don't know. She was born in America, but in her heart, she's Canadian, and I
Yeah,
can't trust her.
yeah, you can't trust. She didn't grow up with the LAUSD school district. All right, she didn't go through fucking Compton High School or whatever high schools you want to be in California, and then she would end up leading, you
Now
know,
she's gonna lead the whole
initiatives.
country. Evil,
Yeah.
evil. Now she's gonna. This evil ass Canadian is going
We
to.
partly bring this up because she would end up trying to revitalize school districts and their truancy programs. All right, and that's the whole rabbit hole to go down.
Well, when did she move to San Francisco? Well, she. It says here that fresh out of law school, she joined the Alameda County District Attorney Office in 1990, serving there 8 years before crossing the bay to San Francisco.
Yep.
Man, oh man, oh man. So we have somewhat of a timeline. You know, she spent some time in. She was born here in America. She went to Canada for too many years. Then she eventually, she went through her schooling and came back and came to the Bay. Now she's on a path to becoming the most powerful person on the planet. Wow, amazing! All
Yep.
this glazing, amazing. So let's learn a bit more about her. So before we get into it, deep into it, because we're gonna start off with the hate. And there's a lot of hate. It's kind of surprising the stuff we found on Kamala. Kamala has a very long service record, especially at her time as senator, and I don't know if you agree with this, but her time as senator and senator, right, rep or senator,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, her
senator.
time as senator and time
Her
as DA of California, time
they
as DA of San
contradict
Francisco.
they
Yeah.
contradict like
And you
crazy.
could argue that her time as a
Yeah,
DA of San Francisco and even as a DA of California contradict each other. It's sort of
yeah.
weird. I kept digging some more, and it seems like she's had a lot of changes.
Hmm.
Some might call it a Hillary Clinton snake maneuver.
Oh,
Some might
definitely.
call it the pressure of the DNC, but we'll get into that as we get into her history.
Her sins.
But first, we're going to go over the hate people bring to her.
So the first thing we're gonna start with, because it's funny and because it's relevant to our world today. Elon Musk, the proud owner of Twitter, or X, God,
Hmm.
posted an AI video of ad of Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
As
This
far
just
as I
happened
know,
recently,
as far as I know,
a couple days ago.
as far as I know, without explicitly saying it's AI. So we're gonna watch it, and
Yeah, there's a bunch of articles like ABC and stuff saying that that Elon Musk posted this AI video going over like doing audio dub of Kamala Harris's ad video that she posted herself. And I gotta say, it's pretty good AI dubbing. Now maybe it works because her tone never really shifts that much, but you know what? You decide whether or
she's
not this is
a
good.
she's a bit of a soulless machine.
Career
She's
politician.
she's an automaton from Helldivers,
Yeah, she's an automaton.
or is she a Necron
And she
tier?
squashes the Terminids. At least
Uh,
that's how she sees it, probably. But who am I to get into the mind of a Hmm.
Getting nerdy over here.
Yeah, no,
Damn.
about to go
Get
on a nerd rant.
get on nerdy.
I
I,
put
Kamala
Helldivers in the hashtag.
Hey, it works now. We mentioned
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we mentioned it.
Harris, and your Democrat candidate for president, because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility of the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if...
Okay,
I was gonna
you
say
go on.
total incompetence. Just remember, Joe Rogan came out and misappropriated, misquoted. What was it called? The Civil War was lost because of a lack of airports, something like that. Basically saying a totally crazy quote that he believed was from or that he believed was from Joe Biden, but was actually from Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump hides his senility through his energy.
Yeah, he's tweaks.
Yeah. The fact that he doesn't hang on words slowly like Joe Biden makes it so people don't recognize that he's totally senile.
Have you
But also,
that uncle who rambles on and on about absolutely
yeah.
nothing? That's Trump.
And take it from Joe Rogan, who would have criticized Joe Biden for saying something, but just laughed it off and it was actually Trump when he got it
Yep.
wrong.
We should get that clip when we get a
Trump is also
chance.
pretty fucking senile. But
Yeah, see, that's a good point, right? Because even if the ad, you know what? Let's give Elon benefit of the doubt for a moment and say that you can understand that this is a parody, and yeah, it's kind of obviously a parody. Who's to stop more malicious actors from cutting this up and just delivering
yeah.
it? Elon's fully aware of how this works. He's fully aware of the
Mhm.
way Twitter disseminates information and makes increasingly smaller sound bites of the same things, out
Yeah.
of context, always clipped. And him doing this is kind of an endorsement of that behavior. It's like someone like that, I guess, should act more responsibly because they're the leader and owner of the platform. But maybe that's just too much to ask from the meme
Yeah.
lord himself.
I mean, he knows how people will impersonate other people through the blue check marks. What was it? There was a pharmaceutical company who was impersonated, lost a bunch of money through stocks because somebody impersonated them, right? When Elon Musk first took over. He
Oh,
knows that
remember?
impersonating other people can lead to huge damaging effects.
Remember
But
there was a teacher who got fired because students made AI recordings of him saying racist stuff.
yeah, even though it wasn't true, it was
It
all
wasn't true.
AI. Because at the end of the day, AI at this point is good enough to mimic other people. It has happened to teachers. And now you're doing it to politicians. Ron DeSantis did the same thing to Trump with Fauci, creating AI images, photoshopped images of
It's
Trump and
cowardly.
Fauci being together in a very affectionate way. If you guys want to look up that article.
It's very cowardly the tact they're doing this with because they don't want to accept the consequences of their actions when it comes to this type of stuff. But then, oh, we can't let people track our fucking flight miles. No, no, we can't let them track our flights. That makes us feel
Yeah.
unsafe. It's like it's like anytime someone's critical of power in a legitimate way, Elon will crack down on it. But then the moment we can't criticize him, he can't take responsibility for it, for what he does. He doesn't see himself as a powerful person or something. He sees himself as one of the memers. But it like I love the fact that if anybody calls him on this, he's just going to say it's all jokes, man. He. It's like 2016 all over again. We're gonna say
Yeah.
increasingly horrible shit, and then every time someone challenges it, we're gonna be like, "Oh, just kidding, bro." It's like it's very cowardly. Like you're saying this, you know what you're doing. You're being a malicious actor. You're acting in bad faith. But then but no one can ever call you on it because it's always a joke.
Yeah.
But it's not a joke but you control the platform. You get to pick when it's not a joke.
Yeah.
So
And like the richest man in the world in his post about Kamala Harris, an AI ad, he doesn't say explicitly that it's an AI ad in the title. Most people just scroll by, maybe they see 10 seconds, 20 seconds of it. They might think it's true, especially on places like Facebook, where it's a bunch of old people who don't have a really high standard for checking if it's AI, right? Because they weren't born during the age of the internet,
it's
right? They don't
crazy.
know.
It's also
They'll
crazy
just take it
too
as truth.
because a lot of women, you know what's fucked up about this? this kind of vindicates a lot of women's fears. Because I remember the people who are mostly against this are women. They're like, oh, what if they make sexual posts, or if they make
Yeah. And that stuff has
if
happened,
they make
and it's been banned in some states.
if they make like, you know, if they make like quotes of us, revenge porn, like all types of craziness, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Which
well,
that is one thing that Kamala tried pushing.
yeah,
I don't think it got passed. It was a federal, this has been banned in most states, but it was a
mhm,
federal law, and it was supposed to get it so that states had federal tools to go after revenge porn. And it
yeah.
didn't pass because, Congress is shit. But Kamala Harris did try pushing a bill for that. I don't have it in the document, but it's one thing that I found while researching.
I guess at the end of the day, it's great when they get to control the playing field and they don't even have to accept any criticism. This is just one of those things where I like like uh, it's a lot of coincidences happening at once, but even divorcing the coincidences, like maybe I just expect better out of someone who owns, like, who leads this company, who understands how social media works. But that's the thing, right? Free speech king over here. He will always tip the scales in his favor. That's how it works.
Well, Emerald Mine Baby, so
Emerald Mine Nepo baby.
yeah.
They're significant, and I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about
Nice.
the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very
Oh no.
important
Zoom, stop calling us out.
which is an alliance
Oh
with the
no.
Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember,
Yeah, I mean, look, it's obvious. It's a parody if you watch the full thing, but no one ever watches the full thing in context.
I want to say it's obvious, but the brain rot of
brain rot.
Facebook is almost unfucking rivaled. People talk about the brain rot of TikTok with Skibidi Toilet and all that stuff, but the brain rot of like fake misinformation on Facebook really rots the brains of boomers.
The boomers are brain melted.
And like I wouldn't be surprised if they saw this and they thought, yeah, like this is Kamala Harris.
Kamala
Because
Harris
their
is evil, man.
standards of, fighting misinformation is so low.
Well,
it's bad.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's not even like a priority.
Yeah.
But that's the thing; they use misinformation. Like they've had a war against intellectualism and university and education for years and years and years. So they don't care about the validity or the value of decent information. They only care about the value and validity of their own narratives.
Mhm.
And I'm not even really talking about your average conservative. I think your average conservative, being like as a reporter who's actually talked to these people, I think conservatives do care about good news. It's their leadership that doesn't. Their leadership really hates good news, good, valid news sources, and that's why they're fighting so hard. So, I mean, even
Yeah.
Elon, he got rid of his fucking PR team. Like, obviously the
Yeah.
man doesn't want to talk to news. Like, the man... Whatever. Let's...
Well, he doesn't want to be held accountable.
I mean, with a fan base like his, they're too busy gargling his nutsack, so... Let's move on. But yeah, no, look, if this was anybody else, this wouldn't be a big deal, but it's the fucking owner of the site. I guess I expect better, but who cares?
Also, the richest man on earth.
No tags, no nothing, just, yo. Look, maybe this guy is... Actually, I'm gonna make sure there's nothing crazy. Yeah, that's all you get for context. A YouTuber named Reagan. Known as Reagan. That's all you get. So, I don't know. Ambiguity is a bitch, though, because they always get to use it against us. And they get to just run away with that. But they know. It's a shitty game of telephone. We know that it's going to be chopped up and given to old people. We act like old people know how to navigate the internet. Shit, my mom, who's a like not even boomer age, she's a Gen Xer. She's already in the AI video thing. Like she loves that shit. I'll just be like
Yeah.
in the middle of the night. I'm not joking with you. In the middle of the night, I'll be sleeping and I'll just wake up to, do you know the top 10 things you can do with slime? And I'm like, oh fucking Christ. Like
Yeah, and it's just like, they're slowly getting brain rotted in their own way.
they
But
did.
no one's looking after it.
They got hit like a damn. They got hit by fucking freight train, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, let us move on. So now we know a little bit of her background, a little bit about who she is. She was the DA of what was it, San Francisco, right?
Yeah, the DA of San Francisco. That's when she started as a first elected position.
Yeah, she was
Right.
an officer or a deputy of the district attorney's office for a while, and
Yeah.
then she went on to become DA of California or general. What was it of California?
General Attorney, I think.
General
Yeah,
Attorney?
General Attorney
Oh yeah, yeah.
of California, the highest law enforcement officer of the land, the highest prosecutor of the land of California.
She was just to put it in political for your non-political folks out there. She was that bitch.
Yeah, she was the boss bitch
For a
of
little
the
while.
police force. Yeah.
She was queen cop.
Yeah, she was Queen Cop.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and now she's going to be the president for the Democrats. Oh man, ain't horseshoe theory might be real.
Yeah. Yeah, Recluse, I do also hate AI. It's just
Oh,
freaking-
yeah, hey
just
Recluse.
burning the brains.
I forgot to go into the stream. Silly me. Silly me.
It's all good. Let's see.
Are we not even listing right now? Oh, I hate you. Oh yeah, we are. I'm about to say like, oh, we have 2 people watching. Hello, other people. Micro PP Elon. Nice. He does have micro PP. Thank you very much. But look, we gotta talk about all the stuff. So before we get into her political history and talking about whether or not it's justified, we are trolls, and we want to talk about all the hate. Now, admittedly, a lot of the hate's kind of lame. It's like she's a woman, or she's black.
Yeah, and there's like cringy liberals. The white
Yeah.
dudes for Kamala.
Woo! God damn it. So let's do it. Since you mentioned it, let's just start there. And damn it, let's get Canada off the goddamn screen. Oh, America got its ass kicked in the Olympics, by the way. We did not take home that many
Yeah.
golds. It was awful. Like, who cares about the Olympics? But just a complete side note. Like, I was actually watching it the other day, and we got we have a bunch of medals, but then we just totally flunked out of all of the we have 3 gold medals. It sucks. America's fallen behind. We got too fat.
It'd be like that.
We got too fat. I'm telling you.
Well, when you're the leader of the world, essentially, when you're the hegemon,
You're the leader
you
of
no
the
longer need a
world.
posture.
When you're the leader
You
of
know.
the world, but you can't outrun the world.
No, because you have a gun. What do you?
You have
you could say that we lost the gun competition.
You have a gun. We have a gun and too many
It don't matter.
cheeseburgers.
You don't need to be accurate when you got so many guns. All right, you're gonna hit everyone.
I watched the
eventually.
fuck out of the wall climbing competition where they
Damn,
God.
that sounds like a good one.
there was an Indonesian woman and a Kazakhstani dude. They were just destroying it. It was crazy. They were doing very well, but it's like they both had a slip up near the end. It was so shitty.
Yeah,
Anyway, sorry.
that sucks.
Off note about the Olympics. As I got older, I'm starting to watch them more, which is kind of funny. Refresh your wardrobe. Do you want to refresh your wardrobe this summer?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hate Amazon.
Also, I only got 2 minutes left, so
Okay.
so-
You just wanna.
No. So let's talk about this real quick. So,
Mm,
white dudes for Harris. Virtual meeting roasted online, most beta gathering in history. A virtual meeting dubbed White Dudes for Harris, set for Monday evening, which is designed to drum up support, has been widely mocked and criticized on social media. Over 10,000 white men across the country are expected to join the effort. Together, we're going to sit around and let MAGA crowd bully other white guys into voting for a hateful and divisive ideology. We aren't going to let it continue. No, they aren't. They're taking a stand. We know that as white dudes, we have both a strong and positive role to play in America's shared future, and it begins with all of us.
Oh boy. Like this type of like cringy identity politics the left does.
Yeah,
Like at the end of the day, it's sort of harmless, at least in this instance. But it is cringy. White dudes for Harris.
so, ironically, conservative radio host Jason Rance, ooh, we should talk to him someday, feels that the meeting is condescending, and it's likely to fail. Now, unfortunately, he's wrong. I believe they made like what was it, like $4 million. And
Yeah,
Mark
they made millions of dollars for Kamala Harris.
doesn't sound like a failure, man.
And after this article was posted, I think they were taken off of Twitter.
Damn, did they get reinstated?
I don't remember the reason why, though.
Look, regardless of it, it's such a lame ass attack. It's like, oh, you're a white guy who's voting for a woman. You just don't got balls. Listen, you know what's even more beta super cucked? If you let some random internet asshole tell you who to vote for, it's like code God, man. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Ball Stomper 45 told you to vote for Trump for president, and he said you're a beta cuck if you don't. All right, then here, fine. I got GigaChad 57 said to vote for Kamala, or else you're a super giga cuck. There you go. Who is Super Chat 45? I don't know. He's definitely real, and he's out there, and he's judging you. Yeah.
Honestly, so far, like it doesn't seem like we know why they were suspended, but you know,
Oh, what if they stole all the money and ran because they're
we
white
can
men?
speculate and
They're
make
evil.
conspiracy. I'm gonna stick toward what
White
we
men
can
are
see as
evil.
facts here.
White men are evil. That's a
Yeah.
fact. We know that. Are these white
Yeah,
men
well,
any different? No.
When you're going for the political candidate, you're not for it. If you're going for the political candidate, that'll probably tax you higher and hurt your wallet. There is money interest that Elon Musk has against Kamala, but you know,
Ooh, the power of Trump compels him. So, yeah. So basically, most of the mocking is revolving around her being a woman, being black, which is great because let's be honest, she sucks for a lot of reasons. We don't even need to make them up. But while we're at it, we're gonna talk more because this is kind of funny. It's so petty. I guess that's the best part about this. Look, I love good petty. I love a good petty. Come on, this is peak petty. This is like the peak petty like political behavior, and let's be honest, it's entertaining as hell. White dudes for Harris virtual meeting. Have you seen some of the white guys who vote for Trump? Okay, actually, you know what? No, the worst type of Trump voters are, and I might get in trouble for this, the vocal black minority that like voting for Trump. They're very vocal about it, and they are so pressed all the time. Like, all the time. Like, oh, like, just because I'm a black guy, I can't vote for Trump. I didn't tell you you can't. I don't give a damn. Okay, I was just telling them, you know who some of the most pressed people politically are? Hold on, here he is. Black conservatives. Dude, they are like some of the most pressed.
yeah, how did we get here?
Oh, because we're talking about how like the joke right now is how pressed
Oh yeah, white dudes for Kamala are.
yeah,
Like
how pressed everybody. Yeah, like man, like
yeah.
don't get me wrong, white liberals are some of the most like annoying ass people in the world. Okay, but but black conservatives, they tend to be pressed as fuck. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are dope. Like the more chill, really cool. But there's a flavor of them that are like they're just on guard all the time, like perpetually. It's weird.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're telling me I can't? It's like, no, just that you're dumb. You're a grown man. I ain't your dad. You know?
I don't know if I use such explicit words.
As
soften
brain filter, as an LGBTQ plus plus. Ah, shit. 2 pluses.
Well, you know, it's
Damn.
game plus plus.
Oh,
new game plus plus.
I'm fucking cooked. I can't deal with 2 pluses. That's like an ultra power level.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
let's move on to the next one. What's the next hate article? Oh, yeah. So, DEI candidate. So remember how we mentioned, her being black and woman, big part of the reason they don't like her? Woman card.
Mhm.
Okay, listen. It was annoying
Look,
when Hillary Clinton played the "I'm with her, I'm a
yeah,
woman."
being a woman. And also, Biden did say, right, he was going to choose someone who's like a black and a woman. He did
Yeah.
sort of explicitly say that he's choosing based off of race. And hello, the people that are in the stream. But yeah,
Hi,
it
people.
was
We lost all three of
Jesus.
them. It went from
Oh
5 to
no,
2 in like 2 seconds.
be like that.
Jesus.
But
Jesus.
to go on
Mm-hmm.
back onto this,
No.
Trump
Let
and
him
allies
know.
attack based on her race and gender. It does hurt, but then again, you're gonna tell me that she had less, you know, knowledge, less experience than Trump, a person who had never held office, a person who didn't have any background. So
Going
we can
just
make the
off
argument.
vibes, just going off vibes though, Hillary Clinton was shrill.
Yeah.
She was shrill and annoying and so goddamn sanctimonious.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to Kamala, who's trying to go for zingers,
Yeah.
to a varying
Coconut
degree of
tree
success.
zinger.
Also the I'll say it to my face. She like challenged Trump or something recently like
Yeah,
that.
she did challenge Trump because Trump was sort of
She
like shying away from the debate. And Kamala, which she should do this, is
build up
play the
gradually.
yeah, just be like,
Yeah.
oh, why don't you want to like debate me, face me? You say I'm a DEI easy candidate, shouldn't be here, but you won't even debate me. And
Yeah,
like
build up
it's
gradually. I agree
yeah,
that she should, and I think she needs to. I think she's right now like kind of getting a running start, which is good because Hillary sucked at the zinger. She sucked at she
yeah.
sucked at just having a presence. I
Pokemon
remember.
go to the polls. Yeah, recluse. Yeah, no,
Oh,
that was
go to the
bad.
Pokemon, go to the polls. Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's never dying. I love the fact that's never going away. Everybody who's in our generation is going to carry that to their dying
Yeah,
day. That's great. I love it. That's how. You know what's even better? You know what's even better? Every time Hillary, since we're on the Hillary train real quick, every time she comes up, everybody just wants her to go away. Like, I love how
yeah.
we all agree on that as a country. Thank
Like
God.
you failed.
Go away.
You led to Trump's rise. You failed. You didn't stop the tidal wave of MAGA. You let it through.
Well, not even just that. You're just like your own party didn't like you.
Yeah, boring.
We really kind of boring. Yeah. I hope you're not talking about us. But
Oh no.
but yeah,
So
let's get into it. So throwing the entire presidential race radically shifting. No longer was it two white men born in 1940s. Hey, we had a black guy like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever the heck it was. Okay, we had someone.
yeah,
But hey, it's the first woman though, so that's cool, I guess. It's in some ways, it is some of the same playbook that Trump and his allies ran the last time a woman was on top of the major party ticket. In 2016, Hillary Clinton's qualifications and voice were scrutinized. Yeah, because Hillary did some fuck ass shit. Like, let's be real.
called all the like Republicans deplorables. Had some really hawkish
super
foreign
predators.
policy. Yeah, super predators against the
When you're in office for 85 years, you're gonna have a record, like, and it's gonna be look, when you are old enough to have seen like 4 different civil rights movements in your lifetime, you're probably evil.
Yeah.
You're probably done some evil ass shit.
When you were a teenager or in your 20s during the civil rights movement,
White blonde lady. I think she was a Goldwater lady too. Conservative. She was a segregationist.
Hillary Clinton?
Yeah. She was on the Goldwater campaign when she was very young at the start. She changed later, but at the very start she was. Yeah. And will symbolism win this election?
I don't think it's just symbolism. I don't think people are just voting for her because she's a black woman. I think it's symbolism in the sense that it's a D in front of her name. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, you look at the polls saying generic Democrat beats Trump. It shows that just being a generic Democrat, you can beat the fucking presidential candidate that was in a couple years ago.
Yeah,
even
however,
Biden, who's the incumbent.
Polls have been kind of coped before, though. And especially
That
with
is true.
2016 one with Hillary now, they have made adjustments. But the stuff isn't concrete. And, maybe, in terms of symbolism, though, just to answer your question, just so I don't get off of it, the problem is that I don't think it's symbolism that people are voting on. People aren't voting on Kamala because she's a symbol of change, like, say, Obama. She is a symbol, if anything, she's a symbol of the status quo
Yeah.
because we don't want Trump, right? Everybody who's a Democrat, that's basically their line right now is we don't want Trump. It's more about who they're voting against rather than who they're voting for, which,
Yeah.
if
And
I'm...
polls do show that people
Yeah.
are heading toward negative polarization. They
Mhm.
vote against a candidate instead of for a candidate.
Look, the spirit of democracy, at the end of the day, the reason why I want people to be voting for them in spirit and not against the other guy is because at the end of the day, we still got to share the person. So it would be good if, like, that's why I like ranked choice voting without getting too deep into it. If we couldn't have our first choice, then fuck it. Our second choice might have to just
Yeah, if we all agree on a better second choice, that should be the one who leads,
Yeah.
not the 20% first choice or the 30% first choice.
Yeah.
The 80% second choice. That'd be better. But
Yeah, probably. And at the very least, it'll create a compromising a government that's capable of compromising and getting shit done instead of one that gets into a budget crisis every fucking year.
yeah.
We've had that almost every year for the last few years now, where they couldn't have a budget and the government might shut down. So, it's anyway. We're getting off the topic.
Yeah,
We're
gonna
getting
get back into this.
She is a DEI pick. She, in the sense that like she does represent everything. In terms of like affirmative action and civil rights and all that stuff. You could argue it's in a way accumulating to Harris, symbolically, but like I don't know. I feel like Obama also stole a lot of that. Well, not stole, but like he took a lot of that lightning.
Yeah.
She's the first woman president, but she's not going to get to be the first black president.
And some people will vote for her because she'll be the first woman president. But then again, I'm pretty sure there are people who don't want to vote for her because she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people who are just blatantly racist in the... You could look at it, was it the Vivek Ramaswamy clip? Or was it, I think it was... don't quote me on it. It was a Republican speaker talking to Vivek Ramaswamy and basically said that she wouldn't vote for him because he's Indian, because he's Hindu, and not what she perceives to be basic white. And it was really fucked because she said that in his show that he had. He has a little like show where he talks, even though he was a political candidate. There are people who will just decide not to vote for you based off of your identity.
Well, I got some proof to that. Jesse Walters, genius, says...
Oh, just one last thing, though.
Okay,
it's funny to call out Kamala for being DEI candidate when Trump literally hired friends and family, like his son-in-law, to do fucking diplomacy. Like, where's the legitimacy in that? And like, they didn't have a history in politics. This person has a history as a senator, as a DA. So, like, it's just dumb to be like, oh, she got in here just because of that, when people have got in for a lot less.
Oh, yeah. Pointees and all that. But, I think a lot of times people like to project their problems into the world. And that's, I think, Jesse Waters... Oh, Vivek Ramaswamy. Swiney. Oh my god, nice.
Yeah.
Jesse Waters says, men who support Kamala Harris have mommy issues. Jesse Waters, I think you have mommy issues. Can you not trust women? Did your mommy hit you?
You can't vote for Mama Kamala.
I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a man. That is some like 1852 shit.
Yeah.
If you don't go home and if your woman works, you're only half a man. Like, I could already see it. The guy on the corner, like trying to get a job, and people spit on him because they know his wife's like, I don't know.
There's a bunch of people in wife beaters, tank tops.
It's great.
Also beating their wives because it's the 1850s, 1950s.
Dude, I'm thinking Victorian times. I don't know. That's some Victorian ass shit. It's like, if you wear a dress, your balls immediately fall off.
I mean, you don't have to go back that far to even just say stuff like, "Oh, if you don't eat meat, you're acting like a woman." A lot of this stuff is still around.
Oh, I know.
Stuff is still here.
The comic. I love the comically sexist shit. It's really funny.
Sexist.
Yes. If what was it? It's like what else is it? I don't know. It's like if you learn how to read, you're a woman. I don't know. Look, the worst insult as a man, one of the worst insults as a man, is to be compared to a woman. That is the God's honest truth. You can see it in a lot of the insults. Like, the problem is immunity.
Yeah, the immunity stuff is insane.
For
We did go over
for
that in another stream. I don't know if he's talking about Brian Phillips is talking about immunity for Trump, but
oh, okay.
yeah, nipple
It
Baron, yeah,
look all I
getting billions from Saudis, that Trump family. But
do you think Jesse Waters has a good relationship with his parents? This sounds like
I don't know how you can look at your mother and then say I can't vote for you, mom, I can't support you, because if I do, then that makes me a woman. Like that's Jesse Waters' brain that he believes that if he supports a woman, I would presume including his mother,
well
that he becomes a woman. Like it's stupid.
maybe
It's
he's
dumb.
of
It's
the
sexist.
maybe he's of the opinion that that just his mom couldn't handle it, but he can.
Yeah.
Maybe he's of the opinion that look, this is mommy issues, okay? What am I saying?
Yeah.
Like she didn't look. He saw his mom not cook him nuggies and do his laundry as a kid, so he's convinced that women can't run a country. If they can't run a household, they can't run a goddamn country. Okay, that's Jesse Waters. Okay, I think he.
Could do a picture of like Jordan Peterson's house all dirty. I remember there's all that shit. And talk about you need to have a clean room, clean up your room, but then his room's all fucking a mess. Yeah. But I guess that's what happens when your mother isn't cleaning your room.
Well, let's watch the clip. Let's watch the clip. Let's watch it.
Oh, do you have audio share?
Oh, it didn't share again. God damn it! Why does it even have that as an option?
Kamala, that you really should be at the Black Women for Kamala meeting next week. Like, this is pathetic, and this is what they do. And President Trump, our meetings.
Man.
Finally bringing the white men out of the wilderness in this country and asking them how they feel. Pandering
Nice.
to
No,
me.
you're only doing this because
Catering
you
to
love
me.
the Hobbits. That's the only reason why you're a Lord of the Rings junkie and your favorite actor
Calling me weird, Tyrus.
No, you know what? Yes, because a little weird is good.
Call me a white dude, call me weird, but I'm into this. So I signed up for the Zoom, and I thought it was going to be great because they've been calling me toxic for quite some time. And I thought maybe we were going to get over that, and they were going to talk about wages and California artists. And it was basically saying, if you want to be accepted by women, you should vote for a woman. Now, I don't see why any man would vote Democrat. It's not the party of virtue, security. It's not the party of strength. It's definitely not the party of family.
It's all vibes. And actually, fuck you, party of family. You guys voted against baby formula.
Yeah.
You told the babies to fuck off and pull themselves up by the
Majority
bootstrap.
of Republicans saying that we don't need to give money for formula.
Eat my ass.
But,
Party of family. Go fuck yourselves.
And to be a man and then vote for a woman just because she's a woman is either childish, that person has mommy issues, or they're just trying to be accepted by other women.
Look, if you only vote for her because she's a woman, then I think you're into like BDSM and matriarchy, which you know what? I don't know if I'm totally okay with you bringing your kinks into politics, but fuck it, you voted the right way. But please find better reasons. Don't.
And
tell,
also,
don't
I
tell
would be
people.
more, open to this opinion if she really was just a random woman off the streets, but she was elected for DA in San Francisco. She was the head fucking prosecutor for California.
No.
She was a senator. She had all these. She was elected. She's
If
held
you-
positions. She's pushed laws. And whether you hate it or not, she was a fucking cop, right?
According to
She was
Jesse
the head law
Waters,
enforcement officer.
no, you only vote for her because she's a woman, and if you do that, you are also a woman.
Yeah.
Your balls will immediately check your voting your voting record and go.
And a lot of people won't even vote for policy.
Balls removed.
Exactly.
Balls are gone.
Your balls are gone. You took estrogen.
So what happens to them? Do the balls just like shrivel up and fall off, or do they like get absorbed back into your body?
They become ovaries.
Oh,
The transition starts, and it all
so-
goes backwards.
So that's the new way they transition. Gotcha.
Yeah. That's
The
at
moment
least
you-
in the mind of Fox News. Yeah,
No,
that's how it all works out.
The moment you slip that ballot in, you walk out with titties and a curvy body. It's great. It's the fastest transition you've ever seen. Okay. Well, we are. I am being an objectifier. I'm evil, but maybe there's some truth to all this because she dated a lot of people. She is a little bit of A little bit of an enchantress, you know, she's climbing the political ladder. So what's the first claim? You know, we talked a lot about hate, but are there valid reasons to hate this woman? Oh god, there are. So let's get into it. So there's this article, fact checking. Claims about Kamala Harris. False claims. False claims. Oh, what's one of those false claims? Well, Harris is not black. That's really funny. No. It says here that Harris got her start by having an affair with a married man, California politician Willie Brown. This is missing context. Brown was separated from his wife during the relationship, which was not a secret. Brown, 90, is a former mayor of SF who was serving as Speaker of the California State Assembly. They had in 1990s, when he and Harris were in a relationship, Brown had separated from his wife in 1982. So don't worry, guys. It's only nepotism. It's not nepotism and infidelity. What? Yes, we dated.
Hey, if you want to be cynical, you can be like, all right, he's saying the marriage not for love, but for that good old tax reasons. You know, good old IRS evasion. Alleged. I'm not being serious in that part. But
he wrote that he supported. God damn it. He wrote that he supported Harris's first race to be San Francisco DA, just as he supported a long list of other Californian politicians, including former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Now, am I saying that the only reason she got this support because she was fucking? No, probably other reasons. She's probably a pretty qualified woman. Look. A good way to think about this isn't that she's a woman who fucked her way into power. It's that these people who are already in power, or not the best word ever, but being groomed to be in power, like, you know, Kamala here, they're going to fuck. They are in social circles. They fuck each other. CEOs, politicians, millionaires, I'm talking about multimillionaires too, not like, you know, multimillionaires, billionaires. They fuck. They fuck like crazy. Is Diddy too? Ah, Jesus. Lots of head and hot.
I don't know what he means by Diddy 2. I don't know what he's referring to.
Basically, like, yeah, they fuck a lot. They be fucking. Now, is that exactly the type of relationship we want between our politicians? No, it's but and this wouldn't be the first time. This wouldn't be the last time either, because here's another one on an Inside Edition clip of television host Montel Williams holding hands with Harris and another woman. Proof that Harris was a side piece. Now that's a little sexist, the whole side piece thing, but because the other woman wound up being his daughter. They don't have the picture here, but so no, they're just dating. But again, it's another thing where it's like this very powerful, influential person. She's fucking helped elevate her career. It's just one of those things where, look, she was attractive. I don't know if you guys seen her. Dude, young, small, short-haired Kamala. Ooh, college Kamala. Damn. So it's like she was probably getting it. She was probably giving it out. But yeah, no, man. She. Can we just agree that the what we calling them? The rich, the high class, the political party. I don't know. They're gross. They fuck like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and also the dude supported other people during that time. We don't know exactly. I would say it's a conflict of interest.
It is
to be dating someone and support them.
Oh, that's Montel. That's his daughter. That's it's Kamala. So
yeah,
it's Well, sorry, go on.
Oh, is this the one where they said that it was Diddy?
No, is that Diddy?
I think there was a thing went around.
Oh my god!
I know, right? Recluse. She does not age. She looks so similar.
Fine. You know what? I don't want to do too much thirst trap Kamala because we're gonna be on that forever. But and I know Saul isn't a big short hair fan because short hair queens aren't his thing. But that's fair.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Got that. Yeah, no, she's a good looking girl. She's been a good looking woman for years and years and years, man. So, but let's not thirst trap over Kamala, please. God damn it. Does she not age? Yeah, she does not age. She just stays like that forever. You want to move on to the next article?
Yeah.
You have...
Let's see.
Oh yeah. So, God, me and...
maybe I should give a last point with the whole Willie Brown one.
Yeah, do it.
You can make the point that it's conflict of interest I would say that it sort of is. To
Mm-hmm.
be dating someone and then give the support. But
Oh.
is it explicitly illegal? I don't think so. They were open about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit scummy if that's the reason why you give them support. But then if that's the reason why you wouldn't vote for them, then you just wouldn't vote for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't a kept secret. They knew about it. Like people knew about it. They were open about it. So I wouldn't say that it was as bad. And then to say that that's the reason why she became, a senator of California.
Oh, I'm not saying that's why, but I'm saying like you don't think that
Well, yeah, not you,
like
but just in general, like
do you think that
conservatives and other
doesn't
people
like
come out and say,
press the
it,
scale though a little?
yeah, no, it does press the scale.
Yeah.
It does.
My God, that fucking short distracting the shit out of me.
But then a lot of people make it to a local position and then don't make it to the
Anywhere
state
else
position. They
after
make
that?
it to the city, but they don't make it to the county, or they don't make it to the state. Don't make it to like on the national stage, right? Like to say that her whole career was based off of this one act of nepotism is far-reaching, right? Because to be a fucking local city DA is a lot easier than becoming the fucking DA of California or the senator of California.
Let's be real though. DA of SF probably is the stepping stone to being the general attorney. And also, let's also add to the fact that she networks. If we're going to be polite, she networks. And if we're not going to be polite, the bitch gets around like crazy. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's the sole reason, it's like she knows how to press that scale.
Gets around. I'm not saying that she fucks everyone. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that she certainly networks with people. And
I'm willing to go one head in that she's probably fucked around a little while. I mean, like, it's the political
I don't know
class.
if that's true.
Well, she did vacation with Newsom and all that. Like they're buddy. These people are buddy. They hang out.
Yeah,
they fuck.
I mean, but buddy versus being fuck buddies is
they coworkers.
These are different things.
Coworker, yeah. What? Yeah.
These are different things. To be work buddies versus literally dating.
No, I get that they're different, but I'm saying like people like they're in the same spaces. They're both.
Yeah.
They're both like when you're either working in the same place, you're in the same class of like economic class, or you know what I mean, like you're
also fighting for the same team.
You're fucking.
All D's.
You're in the same circles, like you're fucking. Okay, these people are fucking. All right, they are either fucking in college or they're fucking now. Whether or not they're still fucking, that's gonna be a secret.
But
we won't know.
It's hard to prove and to say.
Well, it's not like
without knowing.
It's a culture, though. You know what I mean?
Like, did everyone that like Willie Brown supported? He supported like 3 other candidates during that time.
No,
was he fucking all of them?
No, but my guy, like, it's a culture of this. It's like no one's ever going to get outed because these people are working with professionals. Like,
well,
the whole point of it is to keep under wraps, right? It's like you get stories from like people who work with them. You get stories from their aides. You get stories. It's leaks. Like, it's always going to be leaks. So, like, they're always going to be able to use the, like, well, it's a leak. Well, you don't have proof. It's like, well, of course we don't have proof. But it's a culture among rich people that they're fucking degenerates.
Yeah, I would go step by step to see each person if there's a leak that comes out that they're fucking.
I understand why you would say that.
We know that they were fucking because they were explicitly out and about it.
I understand why you're cautioned, but no, there's a pretty obvious culture of degeneracy and fucking amongst these people.
But then, like, what, are they all fucking each other? Did Willie fuck the 3 other people, a couple other people that he was supporting?
It shouldn't be disqualified as a possibility. Not saying it's the case for everybody, but it's can also be disqualified as a influence.
But I'm not going to say it as like a concrete thing. Like when I was helping a local election, he put up his endorsements. I'm not going to just believe that he got these endorsements because he was fucking.
Of course not, but that's not what I said, though. I literally said, like, they're in the same classes, they're in the same social circles, they're fucking. I'm not even saying they're fucking for endorsements, I'm just saying they're fucking. Like, you're telling me, like, when these people were going to school...
In the context of saying it, it just...
I know, but are you going to tell me... Are you telling me that they don't fucking college? When they're all going to college together and university together, you telling me they ain't fucking? You telling me they ain't fucking at Yale and Harvard? Like, say they ain't fucking at Harvard and Yale. Go on. Slay King Cook. I mean, I don't like the smell.
Slay King Cook.
The smell ain't too good, but like, dude, it's college. They fuck like crazy. This is rich people college where the consequences are even less dire. Of course they're gonna be fucking. Like, if you're telling me they don't fuck in college, these people weren't fucking
I think
around.
it's very conspiracy brained to think that all these people are just fucking each other, and that's why they get endorsements.
You keep adding that. I didn't say that it's endorsement. I'm saying it can tip the scale. It doesn't have to.
I think people fuck when they're in college. People fuck all the time when they're in university.
Yeah.
People fuck when they're going, like, especially during that time.
And
it makes time to fuck.
And it makes friendly relationships that people can take advantage of later.
But do we know that they fucked in college? Do we know that they knew each other in college?
Well, then by that case, then like none of them ever fucked. That means that everybody who acts on their own is a lone actor. We know this is a cultural phenomenon amongst them.
I would say, like, Pete Buttigieg knew J.D. Vance. At least they both went to the same university. We know that.
You telling me
I
that?
wouldn't just come out and just be like, well, they all went to the same places. They all went to the same things. Did they both go to the...
And you don't think they were fucking in the same circles?
Law school, like, what was it? Where did she go to? Is it Hastings? Hastings Law School in California? Like, did they all go to the same law school? I don't think so. Some of them went to Ivy Leagues.
Oh,
like, she didn't even go to an Ivy League.
And they fucked people there too, and they know a lot of the people, like Obama, and they worked, and they probably work with a lot of people they fucked. That,
she went to the same university. She didn't go to an Ivy League.
Like,
that's also another step ahead.
That doesn't. I don't see how it doesn't.
Most people, when they look at it, they're like, ah, yes, you went to this. I don't know if Hastings is a private school, but these huge ones like Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Cornell, and she didn't go to those ones. She probably went to another one that was also good.
Of course,
but at least
does that mean they don't fuck over there? Does that mean they don't have sex over there? I don't. What does that mean?
Yeah, but did all these people that she fucked end up becoming political leaders?
It doesn't.
Did she fuck Willie Brown in college? I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It could also be outside. These social circles have been established, and they get created even through these connections that have already existed. I mean,
I don't think that these people all met in college together.
I didn't say that. I've just said that they occupy the same circles.
They all fuck each other in college.
A lot of them, yeah. These people who go to college together.
Well, you just said that you don't say that they're all fucking, but then you say they're all fucking in college.
You're literally telling me that we would have to go person by person to determine whether there's a culture of degeneracy in the political class.
Well, I'm saying they have to go person by person to find if they're fucking each other specifically.
I literally said that there's a culture of degeneracy amongst the political class. Is there or is there not?
And I said that there is a culture of degeneracy too. I said that. I said, yes, they're all fucking in colleges. They know each other. But to say that they know each other specifically, you would need to find that out.
Well, we did. She has already been fucking. She fucked 2 people.
Well, yes, and I said that.
And she's probably she's vacationing with Newsom, which I'm not going to say they were fucking, but they
I didn't deny that.
Have a very long personal thing.
I didn't deny that.
Hey, man, you got full chest to defend them. I mean, you'll defend it. You'll defend. Look, unless they come out and explicitly say they're co-op. God, look. We talked about this.
Sadly, it is not exactly illegal to do this.
And it's okay though.
I didn't say that. I don't know why you have to make up a lie to say I'm like defending it or something. No, I'm not. I said that they are doing that. That is, it is nepotism.
But you are reticent to say that the political class fucks each other and there's a degeneracy culture amongst their class, which is what I've been saying.
That's not
over
what I said.
And over.
I said that they do fuck each other. That they do go to cities. But
what are you arguing against with what I'm saying specifically?
Because you're saying that they all fuck each other. That's how they get all these endorsements.
Like, I didn't say that. I literally didn't say that 5 times.
Whether or not these people
I didn't say that 5 times. Dude, look at the recording.
When I say that in order to get these endorsements, you would need to find out to see, are they truly fucking each other? You have to look in. You said, well, they all have a culture of degeneracy.
Well, we talked about the case. Hold on. We talked about the case of Willie.
Let me speak. I bring up, you should look up to see if these 2 people are explicitly fucking each other. And then you say, well, they're all fucking each other in college.
I said, wait, hold on. You're kind of lying there a little. You're lying there a little because when you asked about it, I said, hey, they push down the scales like they did with Willie, like they did with Montel. I didn't say that it's the only way they get endorsements. I said it's a way to push the scales. No, that's what I said.
I didn't say that. You said that this is the only way that they get endorsements.
That's what you've been arguing this entire time. You've been arguing that I've said that they specifically are fucking and that's how they got it. That's what you've been saying. I tried to avoid this topic so hard, man. God damn it. Can we move on? I want to get the show on the road. Can we move on? Okay, let's move on. Next one. Well, it's more Gavin and Newsom. They're more about how they work together. We're obviously going to debate about that too. So, is she... Let's just have the discussion. Is she or is she not a Nepo queen? Is she the worst? Is she the worst example of the Nepo queen?
I don't think she's an example. Well, I mean,
Grinder spiked during the RNC. That's funny.
Yeah, that was really funny.
They don't fuck, man. They don't
what,
look. That doesn't affect.
What
look,
counts as a Nepo baby?
The
like,
fucking
she
doesn't
from
affect.
Rich parents.
The fucking
That's a
doesn't
Nepo
affect
baby.
anything. So,
but with Kamala and Newsom being friends, I mean, I have no doubts that if you work in the same place, you come from the same place, you're going to make friends.
Of course. It makes negative incentives, and it's one of those things where I'd rather people decide on who they want rather than they deciding on who they want to put. It's a microcosm of what the DNC likes to do. They like to pick their candidates for them. And I know this is old news, right? Like, oh yeah, the candidates always pick their people. But that's something that we've been criticizing.
Yeah, but you look
decades.
at Kamala Harris's start as a DA. She ran it. She was fighting an incumbent. Her boss, literally, she worked under her office. I don't think she explicitly got the support of the DNC in that area. She got the support of Willie Brown. I don't see any clear thing that says that she defeated the person above her. If anything, you could say that the person above her was more progressive. Was she supported by a Republican? She came out saying that she won higher conviction rates, that she'll be better at it. Although I would be surprised if the DNC came out and said, instead of taking this incumbent, let's chance it with this new person. Right?
I mean, where is the line drawn between nepotism and building that, like building a network, right? Because that's where a lot of it.
Well, what would we say is the nepotism year?
I guess for me,
where does it come from? When did it start?
Yeah, I mean, oh god, we had this problem last time. But let us look up nepotism.
Because we can say that her having rich parents is like the golden spoon. You're much closer to being there.
Well, if I'm being a definition king, the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs.
So yeah, I would say that Willie Brown in all that situation is nepotism.
And Montel Williams.
You can't disconnect it. That's nepotism.
And Montel, don't forget Montel.
Yeah.
She was fucking both of them, so. But Newsom, it's more questionable, but they've had some time together. There's I forget where the article was exactly, but they were vacationing together. They vacationed together in the past, so she definitely is a Nepo queen. Now, is she the worst version of the Nepo? Hold on. I'm getting to it. Is she the worst version of the Nepo queen? No, because when Trump was in office, he put in his family. I mean, wasn't his daughter or some shit the fucking press secretary? So it's obvious that this isn't.
Her daughter was a press secretary.
Something like that, yeah. You can look it up if you want. If you don't mind helping me out there. One of his family members was a press secretary. And unlike them, Kamala is actually qualified to be in the position that she's in. So it isn't the worst, but let's be real, the bitch knows how to network. And that plays a role in this. It's a certain, you know what? Maybe this is just a problem with these types of political positions. That it attracts a certain kind of person, the most cutthroat kind of people, right? Like ideally in politics, you want someone in power who doesn't want that kind of power, but those people don't go for it half the time. They never go for it, in fact. So it's you're always going to attract the most like egotistical people you can find.
People who want power will step into these roles.
Yeah, it's so maybe that's just a problem inherent to the way power works. Ooh, getting real philosophical over here. But that's also the big reason why we have our disagreement, just to give our viewers context, is there's 5 of them. Hello, all of you. We love to have you here. It is weird as hell with power. Thank you. However, just to give you guys some context of where we're coming from here, this is actually the big area we had our disagreement. So we both agree on Montel and Willie, right? As far as I understand, right? Big ass nepotism. Okay, but the area where we disagree on is specifically this. Democratic strategists were talking about how it's very unlikely that during the I forget specifically what year, but during when right after Jerry Brown retired, I think it was 2018, the Senate seat was open and the governor's seat was open. Kamala and Newsom behind the scenes, basically, or at least supposedly, we don't really know. The strategists say this. They did not go against each other because they didn't want to have to fight for the same pool of donors and supporters, so they decided to do like a sort of power sharing agreement. She goes for Senate, he goes for governor.
Well, does it say that they explicitly did a power sharing agreement?
Well, like, no.
Strategists just say it wouldn't be smart for them to run against each other.
Well, the fact that they didn't run in the race, I think, probably says, like,
but
some dealing was done.
That's not, the strategists necessarily deciding.
Mm-hmm. Well, they agreed with the strategists, it seems, because they didn't...
Maybe they would have always have gone toward DA governor.
Mm-hmm.
He did start as the DA of San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
He started as the governor. They both came in at the same year, right? Newsom came in as the mayor of San Fran. Kamala came in as the DA of San Fran, as like in the same, election.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe they both became friends then, but we don't know.
So they were, as far as I know, working together for a long time before this point when she was working as the DA of San Francisco. And again, I don't know exactly when they vacationed together. I mean, we can look it up real quick, but they did vacation together at some point. So it's not a far-fetched. I'm guessing at the end of the day, we'll never know the dealings of these people behind closed doors. So the best we can do is use the context clues and their past actions. And their past actions and their context clues and their relationships point to this being a power sharing agreement. We're never going to get we're never going to get it, but
past actions also show that, from mayor to governor, that is a logical step. People go from being like the mayor of LA to try being the governor of California. He went from being the mayor of San Francisco to trying to be the governor of California. That isn't really that uncommon. You look at Kamala being the DA, going from the DA of San Fran to being the DA of California. That just looks like the logical next step. You might even run into issues if you try crossing over from DA to mayor or DA to governor because of your track record of having high convictions. I mean, she led by saying, "I will convict more people," which might hurt you if you're running as the governor.
Yeah.
But not as much if you're running for DA. And considering that she led a life as a litigator, I wouldn't be surprised if she thought like this is my lane to go into, and then she decided to go for Senate instead of
the ambiguity of it is like, look, we're never going to get a full answer on whether or not they did this, but the effect of it can be measured, and the effect of it is that it locks a lot of people out. It locked progressives out, as and I guess at the end of the day, maybe it doesn't even matter whether or not this was explicit, because the effect of it's the same. The effect of it is consistent. They are trying to keep power within their clique. Whether or not, But at the same time, it's, people are co-workers. So, again, hard line to draw. And he got kicked because the gods of politics agree with me. Hello, everybody. Copy invite link. Don't worry, he'll come back. I will be with you. I will care for you until he returns. Until your real dad comes back. There you go. Okay. Should I tell y'all the story? I don't know. Real House Harkonnen shit? Yeah. Harkonnen, is that a Game of Thrones reference? I don't know the Game of Thrones. I don't like me no wizards and magic and other bullshit. Uh-oh. My co-host isn't joining. Is it? Oh, there it is. But I say like, is he leaving me to die? Oh, you're in the woods. He's in the woods, you guys. He's broadcasting from his forest bunker. Dune. Oh. Oh. Okay, fair. Yo,
Yo.
sound working?
Yes.
Okay, let me just go back to sharing this real quick. Share. Okay, hello again.
Hello.
So where were we?
Talking about Kamala and Newsom. Although I'm not sure how much more there is to go into it.
Basically, it's the same in which like I don't know, how much evidence do you need to establish the like there is a relationship between these people, right? Like we are agreed on that. So what
At this point, yeah. Certainly at this point. I mean, maybe even as their time as DA and governor.
mm-hmm. So I guess it's like how much of this behavior is appropriate? You
Yeah.
know? Like
Well, would I say this is explicitly the reason why progressives don't get in? I wouldn't say that. I would say that, well, it would be Citizens United. That's the reason why progressives don't get in. Now, having internal cliques, like if there was like the layers of reasons why better people don't get in, it would be like, super PACs, like Nepo families, like Clintons, the Bushes,
mm-hmm.
and then it would be like internal cliques.
I wouldn't say that, honestly. I would say it's more like a circle. Shit feeds into itself. Cliques feed into packs, packs feed into, actions and all. I think it's more like a giant fucking circle where it just keeps feeding itself forever. Because assigning importance to a process, steps in a process, is kind of short-sighted, isn't it? If the whole process is necessary, then all parts are important. So for me,
I would say that it does bleed into each other a bit, but
mm-hmm.
the Citizens United super PAC, system
Mm-hmm.
is like the foundation
Maybe
of how these people can get so much money, where they're just out playing everyone because they have enough quarters of the machine to just keep going.
Yeah,
right?
but but the click had to exist before the law did. So it's like, Are you sure? I feel like clicks existed before that. Like clicks have existed since
would you argue that progressives had a better chance? Like I would say progressives had a much better chance before Citizens United.
Remind
I understand
me,
the halls of power. Citizens United is what people say is the most. There was another case before it, but that's the one people typically attribute to allowing super PACs.
Corporations become people, or is that the?
Well, yeah, that's where corporations become people. Giving money is equivalent to free speech.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that would be like the big thing that keeps them in between.
I actually don't agree with you, because I mean, if you look at the entire history of the United States, it's not like we ever had a very strong leftist group. I mean, we've had rises and falls, but even at their peak, they weren't that strong. We've always had very conservative presidents.
You look back during like the big labor days.
Even our big labor guy, though, even our big labor guy was like,
the way I see it is like that. If you had like two kids at an arcade, and one of them has 100 quarters and one of them has 2 quarters, chances are the person with 100 quarters is going to get farther in that game than a person with 2 quarters.
Yeah, of course.
And as long as that's there, like if you get rid of the clicks, you get rid of all the other things.
That
will be that's the thing you can't. But what you can get rid of is Citizens United, super PACs.
So clicks would be the foundational part, because you literally can't get rid of it.
I wouldn't say that it is the strongest block.
You got a thing where you like adding important levels to stuff, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think so.
Because I would say there's different levels as to why things happen.
I mean, you add importance to the levels. I know
clicks and all those things. Yes, because I would say that Citizens United is like, well, let's say we want to fix something, like we want to get Medicare for all, right? Something that Kamala has backed away from. Try to get back to Kamala.
We'll never get back to it. We're just gonna argue this.
We could get it in, but because of Citizens United,
we lost our viewers.
Able to fund people.
God damn it! Can we go back to Kamala, please? This dumbass argument. Can we go back to Kamala? We're not gonna agree on this.
For sure.
We're losing viewers. I just want to go back to doing what we're supposed to do. We're gonna have to cut this part out, so we're gonna have to edit all this anyway. So, yeah. Look, I don't.
Negative.
Huh?
Very negative today. Are you?
Look, man. I like ambiguity in the political class. Like that's how they get away with a lot of this shit. So it's like at the end of the day, like hearing someone defend it, it's like, yeah, but like if that's the case, like our standards of evidence are always going to be too high then, because like these people are they're keeping secrets. They've always been keeping secrets. The leaks have always came from unreliable sources. So it's like we're always going to be running on this energy then, the energy of like, well, we don't actually know for sure. We just have leaks and text messages and rumors. Oh, like how fucking, like, does it have to be like Bill Cosby level where we knew about this for like 30 fucking years and then someone finally comes forward? Like, does it have to be that bad? Like, I guess, like, then we'll never catch people. We'll never catch anyone.
But if you want to find out why Willie Brown chose, let's say they weren't fucking, why somebody like Willie Brown would chose Kamala versus the incumbent. Because they're all going to the same universities. Going off of your argument, they're all going to the same places. They're playing golf together.
They're in the same circles, basically.
Yeah. Why does he choose this rich person versus this rich person?
Because maybe they have had a personal relationship, because that's what they've shown to the public.
Maybe.
You know, it's like, I guess a part of it's also like they chose to put that out in the public. So it's not on us to make our conclusions based off what they choose to make public. You know what I mean?
I would say if you're looking at it from a strategist perspective, they might look at who are their voters. Are they more likely to vote for me? Am I getting some from them? In Willie Brown's case, it was probably because, I mean, the nepotists, they're fucking. But then some people might choose somebody else because you're taking from their voter base. You're getting to be known by them.
Of course.
Maybe
but they were fucking though. If you're in a room full of people who are ostensibly your allies, and you're fucking one of them, that person probably has a solid shot of getting the nomination or getting the endorsement. If that that personal relationship's there,
if they're literally dating each other, I would say yeah.
There doesn't even have to be there's a lot of promiscuity in these spaces, a lot of infidelity. Doesn't have to be.
How do you know they're not fucking both of them?
No, I agree.
They could be fucking both.
Completely. Oh, completely. But again, they didn't put that out in the public. They only put out the fact they're fucking one person, and then they endorsed that person, right? So if we're going by what you say, right, just going off what we know, like that's what they put out. That's them. Like we don't know if they're fucking anybody else. They're only, as far as we know, fucking. Kamala.
As far as we know, that they endorse. We don't know that they're fucking. In the case of Willie Brown, we know that they're fucking.
And then endorsed her. But
there's a world of endorsements. There's like, is Obama fucking Biden? Is the bro shit further than what we know?
Bros get pretty gay, man. Bros can be pretty gay sometimes. It gets pretty gay. You've been on a sports team. You played it. You played a game of smack ass. He's staring off.
No. They weren't fucking each other. The world isn't like a gay fantasy.
I'm fucking kidding. Oh my god.
I don't know, man.
Oh my god. Okay, but Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton, they fucking their secretaries. They fucking their staff.
Did Bill Clinton
we don't know for sure.
Monica Lewinsky?
Well, Monica's working in the office, my guy. She has a job in the fucking White House. What?
Did the secretary get there because they were fucking, or did they fuck because she was there? The true conundrum.
I fucking hate you so much.
To be or not to be.
You should be a lawyer. You would be the best at this. Just cast doubt.
There's no way.
Cast doubt. Doubt. Monica didn't. No, sorry. Bill did nothing wrong. Monica came onto him. All right. I don't know. Flip flop like a fish. God. Which one of us was flip flopping? Brain filter. Tell us who won this, and then we'll move on.
Flip flop.
While we wait for Brain, go on, Brain filter. Declare you're a winner.
And by negative.
And when he declares his winner, we ban him.
Being negative about the stream.
And when we ban him, it doesn't matter who. It doesn't. No, I didn't, because like I didn't want to get stuck on the debate for that long, because like we already kind of knew we were going to disagree on the levels of nepotism. That's fair. No, I understand that, but isn't it like I tried to avoid that though? You know what I mean? I tried my best to get over it, and we were stuck on it for like 40 minutes.
I'm flip flopping.
Oh
no. Oh.
Hey.
I need to see the clip.
Oh, the one with glasses. Damn.
Well,
it's a tie. As it stands,
democracy has chosen a tie.
As we have proven today, democracy goes nowhere except in a straight line. that goes and turns into a circle.
I can see one part where it may have sounded like a flip flop because foundationally they're like a clique, and I said that it's the strong thing. I would still say since United, as it stands in the modern time, is foundation.
Look, like I said, behind the scenes we did try to we already had this talk about it, and we wanted to get around it because we do want to just talk about Kamala. That was the objective. But yeah, look. This is something. Nepotism's hard. Nepotism obviously has grays, levels, and people will disagree and agree on the levels of nepotism that are appropriate. Because at the end of the day, humans are social creatures. These are your fucking coworkers, right? You're going to work with them on some level, so that's not entirely wrong. However, it's not entirely wrong to say either that people would be uncomfortable with that level of, friendship, and how we don't know for sure, but they're all very close and they're all in powerful positions. So it's that is unfair to make people uncomfortable? I don't think so.
What? I don't disagree.
Yeah.
We're friends.
I'm not I'm not throwing shade. I'm just trying to make some solid ground. If you don't want to make some, if you want to go into another 5-hour long debate.
I was like, solid ground's been made.
You're solid ground.
Solid ground's there.
Solid ground's there. I like to think the ground's sticky, but
I guess I just don't like to say that they're all fucking, and that's why they got the endorsement.
I'm uncomfortable with the level of closeness powerful people have, so I'm always going to be very negative on that level of closeness.
A lot of them came from Ivy Leagues. Obama came from an Ivy League.
Yeah.
It's a criticism Obama had that a lot of people he chose when he was appointing. Some of them were African Americans. It's let's get minorities in there. But a lot of people came from higher class Ivy League.
How dare you, brain filter? You said I flip-flop like a fish. I will ban you. I'm just kidding. I don't care. It's fine. Have your opinion.
Yeah.
Have your opinion. It's wrong, but it's okay. Do you want to move on then? The nepotism debate. No, you're right. Again, negative. I don't know. I was hoping we'd do that at the end, though, to be fair. That's all, really. But, I mean, at least we got it out of the way now. Okay, so,
well, I thank you, Recluse.
Recluse. Hey, thanks. Thanks, Recluse. Appreciate that. He is funnier. Okay. Funny guy. I'm a dry humor type of guy, which means if I don't try, I'm funny. But if I try, I'm worse at it, so. Worse kind of funny. Ukraine support. Let's see. Foreign affairs. Let's see. How are they on foreign affairs? So, here it is. Here's their statement, if you want to just go straight for it. So basically, they said that they promised to continue helping, NATO. They're going to help Ukraine. And Kamala has gestured in other articles about maybe stopping the bombing of Gaza into a parking lot. But, that's the problem with any position about Palestine right now, is that every politician, everyone, is taking on kind of like a maybe we'll see approach. And it's very annoying because she knows how big of an issue this is, but I wonder if she's still trying to score that AIPAC money. It's no, I think you might have to just be okay with not getting that support. You're just not,
Yeah. I don't like how Harris went back and forth. She didn't go to the Netanyahu speech. Maybe people will just say, it's because she's campaigning. It's not because she outright doesn't like Netanyahu. She comes out and says that we'll hear the Palestinian people. Which, these things look, pro-Palestine more so than Biden. But then she comes out and says that, the protesters at colleges, at universities, are pro-Hamas. I'm like, oh, man.
It says here, too,
flip-flopping like crazy. How can you both hold these positions? You're trying to play both sides, and it's not working. She polls lower among young people than Biden.
Really?
If I remember right, she does.
Crazy.
Maybe Palestine changed.
Right now, though? Right now, does she, though? After the announcement?
That's true.
Yeah.
Post that, she might post better.
Yeah, I'm about to say, now that she's the only option.
now that she's the only option, yeah, she'll probably post better.
Yeah. But no, I get your point. She's very, we all, her cop personality is very hard to separate from her, because here's the thing, we talked about it earlier in the show, but she has a very mixed history. Like, her time as a DA, very harsh in a lot of ways. But then her time as a senator was actually pretty good. That's the problem. It's like, are you willing to take a few years? Like, because as a DA, like, you are effectively just a law enforcement person, right? Like,
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously everything she's going to do is going to be bad, but she was probably the least bad in that position you could be. And besides being like Gaskin and pissing off half the state. But because Gaskin, he's even softer. But the problem is everybody, like, he's probably the most known and hated DA right now.
Yeah, and like as prosecutor, especially if you're like the city prosecutor, you have leeway as to which ones you prioritize. Like in San Francisco, they had the previous DA, not the one that just got elected. The previous one was saying that basically he wouldn't try to prosecute homeless people that are camping out and all this stuff. People didn't like it. He got thrown out. San Francisco now is a more aggressive DA. But,
Gaskin got thrown out of the office?
Not Gaskin. It was the one for San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had a DA before that basically said
they were
Gaskin
going
to be really soft.
I think Gaskin was actually, he was in SF for a while. I don't know if he was that one, but he got,
I don't think it was that one.
He was the SFDA for a while. Not joking.
SFDA.
Yeah.
Prosecute. So, in my head, I'm like, I don't need this in the doc. But then I'm like, I ended up bringing it up. And then it needs to go in the doc.
It's fine. It happens. The thing about it is, I'll give you an example of what, here, let me give you something. Like, when it comes to what she did as a senator, like, you don't even need to look that long to get an idea of what she was up to. Here, I don't want to, it's the most boring ass thing you've ever seen, so I'm not going to stay on it too long, but it's like Maternal Health Pandemic Response Act, Puppy Protection, God, really? Wow. Didn't even look that one up. Puppy Protection Act, Campus Improvement, Museum of Iowa Act, 2020 Disaster Tax Relief Act. It's literally just like very middle of the road, sort of like.
I think it was Chesa Bowden who came in after Gascon.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah. I think she was the one Gaskin. She was the one Gaskin like propped up. Climate Equity Act of 2020. Like, her time as a senator was honestly very positive. Like, that's the thing. Like, people focus on her time, hyper focus on her time as DA, and fairly so. She done some things, and we will get to that later. But as a senator, very positive. And it's weird because
she switches back on all of her positions, like with being pro-weed. The bill that I don't know if you guys saw in articles, we covered it before. The one that got through that legalized marijuana in the House, they passed this twice, if I'm right. That was also sponsored by Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Like, and, people talk about Tulsi Gabbard, shat on her for basically incarcerating people for weed, which, as I found out later on, isn't entirely true. But she totally switched on that when she came into the Senate. She's like, oh, actually, here's this big law to make it federally legal, expunge the crimes. Let's also tax it a little bit. She
you're tiny.
Is a very much a Hillary Clinton type where she switches given the position and time she is in.
I'm trying to find the one we were talking about. It's the WOW Act, right? Something like that?
It was MORE Act.
Or more. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The MORE Act. The MORE Act. The marijuana offense something. Yeah. It was good. But then another thing she did, you could argue that was bad. We have it here. This is good actually. She has actively defied the death penalty. Now, she was somewhat of a supporter of it at one point, I believe. She caused a huge, but overall, even in her career, she's been against it. I'm trying to find where it is. Let me see. I'm trying to find where it is. Hold on. Her times rescue helped shape some of her policies in case of the death. While she was consistent in her personal opposition, she had both refused to seek it and, as California, acted to keep it available. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's very weird. She didn't. So the story goes, she had to refile to renew the law. So effectively, all she had to do was nothing for that to no longer be the case, for it no longer to be a valid law, and she filed it, basically upholding the law. She could have basically let the law, sunset, but she didn't. So that's how she upheld the death penalty, but she's also opposed it basically the entire time. So it's very tricky. And the reason why she did that, at least I think the theory goes, was because she had a lot of support from the police unions, and there was a time when, I think they mentioned it earlier, yeah, Espinoza, he was shot and killed, and she did not seek the death penalty for the person who killed him, and she got into a lot of shit for that.
Yeah, so when you go back to her time as DA, like, was it 2004, 2005, when she was running, she said that she'll uphold the previous prosecutors, beliefs or whatever, like, they want before, which one of the things was not seeking the death penalty. She took a pledge to not seek the death penalty in the early 2000s when she became a DA in San Francisco. And it sort of came to a grind when there was a cop killer, and she came out basically that she wouldn't give the death penalty, and people, including Dianne Feinstein, basically just condemned her, saying that, they don't agree that she won't give the death penalty.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a lot of people from the DNC, and she got a lot of press shitting on her. And that might also be part of the reason why she, became a little hard on it. And I know there's a case that came up before people called it out where she didn't want to do a DNA test.
Yes. So that was another problem. I don't know about the DNA test specifically, but there was a scandal with her lab where the technician, while she was the DA of San Francisco, the lab technician who does all the testing found out that what was it? Let's see. Cannabis convictions. This scandal found out that her technician was not testing it, or wasn't testing.
Problems where she was also found to be used.
Trying to find it right now.
Right, there was crimes. The law enforcement officers were breaking the law.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but it's a mission. Where the hell is it? LA Times, find parents, interview. Damn. Oh yeah, there's a lot more stuff here. Truancy rates. Yeah. Oh, here it is. The Bradley disclosures. So basically, according to a report, Harris took no action memorandums by her aides and instituted written policy goes in police conduct. So basically, there was a push for what's called the Bradley disclosures, which is basically if cops have done something bad, big bad, they get reported on in the family and the victims get to know. So they can sue and properly file for damages. Now, she fought against this at first, but after they found out that they were systematically fucking up, it said here, enacted, what was it? Let's see. According to the report, Harris took no action. God damn it, where is it? Her office institutes a written policy for disclosing. Where is it though? No, there was something else. Questions my motivations. God damn it, where is it? This sucks. I thought I had this one. Basically, they found out she was doing some fucky wucky shit, and they ended up doing. God damn it! This is. Why the fuck don't I have any of my articles ready? I swear to God. Cause, just give me a moment. I'm just gonna look for it. Damn.
Yeah, I was looking back for the DNA testing because people bring up a lot that she had denied DNA testing for a dude who was prosecuted for a murder, and then it was due to Gavin Newsom giving her the order to do it. She did it, and that people said that she's a death penalty fucking rah czar. She's very much for the death penalty because she was not allowing the DNA evidence to be put forward. Maybe she did it for political reasons, being a
okay, so that's what it is.
The press.
That's what it is. They were taking home drugs.
They using the drugs.
Her technician was taking home drugs, and apparently there was word coming out of because I'm reading the Washington Post article. There was word coming out that it was undependable for testimony. The results of that crime lab were becoming increasingly unreliable because of this, and because of that, it caused her to actually do the Brady disclosures, which was basically saying, "Hey, cops fucked up. Go seek legal help because you actually might have a case." So it took her
Funny
office.
How it isn't automatic.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? It's like because of what she did, because of this, she took the extraordinary step of dismissing 1,000 drug-related cases including many in which involved had been obtained and sentence were being served. So basically, she turned around a lot of convictions connected to the drug lab, which could you say is good? Or do you think is saving face? Like, do you think she's saving face, or do you think she's trying to actually like amend? You know, because that's a lot of cases.
It's bad because, as a libertarian of some sort, as a person who doesn't believe in the drug war as being good, I think it's good that people who would have had a crime of just possession, even small selling, small scale, like, you shouldn't really go to jail.
No.
But there is a chance that some of these people had bigger crimes.
Yeah.
Now, if they committed a violent act while doing it, I don't know exactly how this will work. I'm pretty sure maybe the violent act will still be able to be punishable, but the marijuana act will not be able to be punishable, right? Maybe they'll have less counts when being tried. This does show that she has incompetence.
Mm-hmm. It says there's a brain filter. It says any point deductions with her achievements. So no, she's definitely had some stuff. I mean, we'll talk about it real quick because he mentioned my political bacon mentioned it earlier. Basically, she did do the truancy law, which would basically, by the letter of the law, say that if your kid had more than 3 unexcused absences, you can possibly go to jail or get fined. And
see,
it's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah, you said 3, right? Because
it was 3 unexcused ones, or was it 10%? Because I remember both.
It depends at which time she was DA. Because when she was the DA of San Fran, it was more than 10%. It was chronic truant.
Chronic truant. Okay.
Yeah, and the 10% figure doesn't really come in until she was the DA of California, when she labeled chronic truancy as being more than 10% of unexcused absences. But when she was the DA of San Francisco, which I have a video here.
Was it just 3?
Of her talking about it. The chat talked to her because she would use the police to push parents to getting their family. I mean, it's sort of vague.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't outright say how much, but she targeted people who had a lot of truancy. She gives really big numbers, saying that people in elementary school that were missing more than like 20, 30, 40 days of class in elementary school. And that she was mainly going for people who have been out for literally over like 20 days of school.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Without excused absences as a DA. And let me see the video.
Did we cover this? I could have sworn we covered this years ago.
We might have, but then I went deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't really go into how she went about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's to the article, she questioned the docular diversion case.
Because, I don't know how I would feel, but like I was a bit of a truant. She was good at using state violence.
Yes.
Yeah,
she was good at using the stick of the state to push people.
Look,
she was.
I'm a huge believer of like, the carrot over the stick. This woman really liked the stick, and she, look, I don't know about you, but I was a little truant when I was a teenager, and I'll tell you though, man, going to having my mom go to prison and then her being in debt, I don't know if that would have made me like going to school more.
I have a video here.
The
thing where she was clipped the most. It says meeting where she talked about truancy. It's at 1550. It's at 1915.
Okay. Oh, you want me to?
That people, hold the video. A lot of people clipped it where she's talking about how they send people, volunteers from the homicide unit to scare the parents. Yeah, not very good. Not looking good for
you went
progressive
deep.
cop Kamala.
Ooh, you went deep here. Okay, I like it. Damn, look at you go.
Like 1550.
15. Oh, sorry, I said 19. Oh,
yeah,
my bad. 1503.
That 94% of those homicide victims were high school dropouts.
Oh, I need the audio.
So then I went over to the school district and I asked the superintendent at the time, what's going on? And she said, Kamala, well, of the few number of children we have in the San Francisco Unified School District.
Kamala, we got a problem.
Yeah.
5,500 have been designated as habitually and chronically truant. And of the 5,500, 2,400 are elementary school students. So I asked the superintendent to convene a meeting for me with all of the principals and administrators of the school district, and I shared with them a fact about myself, which I talk about in the book. I'm a product of California Public Schools. My first grade teacher, Mrs. Frances Wilson, God rest her soul, attended my law school graduation. I would not be standing here were it not for the education I received. And I know many of us will say the same thing. And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And frankly, my staff at Daniel were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is
Most populated jail in the entire country by a mile.
a serious issue. It's got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. And this is what we did. We recognized that in that initiative, as a prosecutor in law enforcement, I have a huge stick. The school district has got a carrot. Let's work in tandem around our collective
Let me tie the carrot to the stick and then beat you with it.
objective and goal, which is to get those kids in school. So, to that end, on my letterhead, now let me tell you something about my letterhead. When you're the DA of a major city in this country, usually the job comes with a badge. And there is often an artistic rendering of said badge on your stationery. So, I sent a letter out on my letterhead to every parent in the school district, outlining the connection that was statistically proven between elementary school truancy, high school dropouts, who will become a victim of crime, and who will become a perpetrator of crime. We sent it out to everyone. A friend of mine actually called me and he said, Kamala, my wife got the letter. She freaked out. She brought all the kids into the living room, held up the letter, said, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect. And here's what we also did. We created what we call the DA mediation program.
Scare the poors into cooperation.
Basically, use the stick.
Wave the stick around. Tell them you're not afraid to use it.
Yeah, and she doesn't say it here, but I think it says in the brochure and other articles that study where they found elementary schools to dropout to victims and perpetrators of crime, 94% of the homicides involved people under the age of 25 and were high school dropouts in San Francisco during her time. So that was the reason why. That was her.
How many of those kids have, well, let's be real for a moment, have dads in prison?
So that's the thing. You might look at this and be like, well, what? So what happens if they don't improve, if they don't do good things, if they don't follow through? Then were they better off as orphans?
No, they're better off under the state of the care. The care of the state.
I found in other articles, like Future Ed, which is a Georgetown think tank, Georgetown University think tank, that she, like, when she was the DA of San Francisco, no parent went to jail for this.
Mm-hmm.
There was there's another LA Times article that also corroborates parts of it, that there was only 20 people who got fines, and the people who got fines were with kids who had missed more than 50 days of school.
Fuck.
So when people bring up, oh, she was targeting kids or targeting the parents of kids who are fucking up, and look, I missed a lot as growing up. A single mother working, 3 brothers, 4 kids. I mean, she didn't really have the time to take me. I had to, basically be a parent myself, go on the bus to school. I would miss it a lot of the time. There were also, like, at least in the state of California, which became a DA, there was a lot of leniency. As long as you gave in a letter with a signature, people forged it themselves. I did, and I was going to teach you. I didn't forge it myself. But
I did.
As long as you did that, you're pretty much okay. Some of it was up to the DA of your city. We'll see that later. But there was a lot of leniency.
I think
when she was directly the DA of San Fran, she seemed to use a really big threat without a lot of follow through. And there's a brochure she gave out basically talking about how, the school is losing a lot of money, the state loses a lot of money, the city loses a lot of money because of truancy, because of crime, blah blah blah. But then if you follow through the stages and your child improves in attendance, then they'll drop the charges.
Mm-hmm. I guess the issue with Kamala is, right, progressives want a lot of reforms to the way we approach law. And Kamala is endemic of, like, every single issue progressives have with the way we approach law right now. Very few incentives, more punishment focused. And that's been a working idea for years now. And I don't know if that's going to work, because California, we have a whole generation of kids who don't have fathers in their lives. So I don't know if stripping them from their other parents going to work. Like, a lot of these parents don't even have control of their own kid. That is the other point, though, right? Like, Like, I remember when I was reporting on the school district for a while, every teacher I talked to was like, they didn't hate their male students, but they certainly didn't like most of them. And you know,
like I missed
it's
like
it's
over
an
30
issue.
classes of my
It's an
history class.
issue controlling these damn kids. So
Yeah.
it may not always be within the parents' ability, and if it's not within the parents' ability, who has the time, it won't be within the state's ability, because usually it's like these are foster families, group homes, like
Yeah.
10 kids to one adult. There's no fucking way. So
But
it,
then
you know,
when she was a DA of California, things changed a little bit.
ooh,
She came out with she pushed for a law. I think she sponsored the bill. She got passed through the California Congress that if you had over 10% of abscesses, then you would have to, you would be liable to getting fines and up to a year in jail. These were misdemeanors. You weren't getting like a felony, nothing big,
yeah,
misdemeanor. But when you're the DA of California versus the DA of a city within California, you're not micromanaging. You're not the one being there deciding what to do. Also, yeah, she did send letters to everybody in the city when she was there, telling everyone about this. She was very hands-on. But when you're putting through this law and you come at it with the belief that they'll do it the way that you did it, that's dumb. That is incompetent.
mm-hmm.
Because there were places like Orange County where they weren't so lenient. And with the letter of the law being so threatening, they can use that to go after parents a lot more aggressively than she did. When she had her hand on the fucking wheel, she steered in a more big threats, but not a lot of execution of those
Mm-hmm.
threats. But when you give it to somewhere like Orange County, there's a parent who wasn't really informed as much, whose kid was sick, who couldn't go to school. She was met with police who arrested her with cameras at the door
Nice.
when her kid was sick. Because at the end of the day, she wasn't the one at the helm. Although she created a really horrible law that could be used by people who are at the helm. So it like when people say, "Oh, she's the one sending like, low income minority parents to jail," it's like, yeah, but it wasn't like her applauding it. When she was the one at the helm deciding whether or not these cases will go through, she didn't really push it. She did it with people who are extreme 50 abscesses or more, and they only got fines.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some gray area. However, it's still extreme incompetence. Like she pushed this law, and she should have known that other states, other people who are not her, would have used this.
If we take this to the federal level, that means she may not be the greatest at enforcing federal law, which is not great, which is not a good thing. Now, I don't think she will be. She has a lot of prosecutor, but she also knows in terms of, how do you put it, like where to give some lenience and leverage in the law to give some wiggle room. And I feel like that familiarity, while it may help her in her prosecution of states not following the fucking laws, it might also help her give that legal leeway to those states. Like, oh, we'll leave it up to the states, winky wink. Like, certain, like, I guess what I'm saying is, sometimes it's like the way they did Medicare. Or was it Medicare? Medi-Cal? Medicare. It's like
Medi-Cal?
the one, yeah, it's like where every state...
California?
Where every state... It's like where every state gets to do their own version of Obamacare. Yeah, Obamacare.
Yeah, okay,
sorry.
Obamacare.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. Obamacare, where every state got to basically do their own version. And it sucked. State to state, it sucked. It varied fucking wildly. So it's like, I feel like that would become an issue under her presidency specifically. Yeah. Specifically. And possibly because she let it happen. Because she doesn't, bloody hands, not washed. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Look, let's just be real. If you make a law and then go on not to enforce it, like, that's fucking stupid.
Oh, and I forgot, because we already went over the weed stuff, right?
A little bit, but you talk about it so if you want.
Because that's another thing that's sort of blown out of the water, because Tulsi Gabbard came out and said, oh, you saw 15,000 or 1,500 people, or was 15,000 people sent to jail for weed, when she was the... Actually, no. Well, one last thing about I'm about to jump back and forth. The truth is, this is a problem also with the weed stuff. Finding the old data for when she was a DA is hard, right? There's a place called Mercury News that was able to pull some of the data, but even them, a local group.
Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. I can't wait to be free of Zoom. Zoom is the real oppressor. She is no political surgeon. Qualified? Yeah, I mean, I see your point. She is definitely not the favorite. However, you're comparing someone who is clumsy with her policy to someone who wants to actively, like, rip apart the country. So it's... new. Uh-oh, he made a link too. Damn. Come back to me. It let me do another one for some reason. We're waiting.
Yeah.
Nice. Welcome back.
Sorry, I got cut off. When looking up this information, it was sort of hard because this is stuff back from the early 2000s, and it's a local thing. Like truancy wasn't even being documented that much during her time. She, even for the state of California, like 10 years later, she was starting the initiatives to start recording truancy. Right? This stuff just was not, right. This was not recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, it was hard finding some of the statistics. Mercury News, local news outlet, Bay Area News, they found that fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. But with San Francisco United District School District, they found that there was a drop, and it was like 24% of truancy. That it did work, but the data's gone. Like when you click on the links for the Attorney General's office for these offices, they're dead links. The closest thing they have was like 2013 truancy reports. A lot of these links, like there's links on these websites, there's links on the actual government website, but they're dead. There's articles, there's interviews where they talk about it. Even on the website, they talk about it, the government website, California, but these are dead links. So maybe you give the argument that this all this stuff was okay if it came out to be that they did lower truancy, and if you're willing to go by the articles without explicitly having the source, yeah, I brought it down by 20%. But then you would also need to have another study come out that would say that, all right, crime did go down immediately after. But there's no study that comes out immediately after that says, hey, here's this long form review that crime did go down. Like there's nothing that really came out after that, so we don't really know if it worked.
That's great. I love when we don't know things. Zoom or Kamala? Yeah.
Zoom.
Fuck.
Zoom isn't gonna send me to jail.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah. And then going back to the Wii stuff, that was also hard to find. Because you go to Mercury News, they try to find all the old convictions she had. She had a higher conviction rate for marijuana offenses than her predecessor, which is something she campaigned on, having a higher conviction rate. But to find the total number, you can't find. They said they either did not, or they either will not, or are unable to give out the data of the people she sent to jail. Only, I think it was 45 were sent to state prison or like state jail, but then they couldn't find the amount of ones that went to county jail during her time as a DA. So during like the years of her being a DA, she only sent 45 that we know of that actually had jail time.
Do you think though, like this approach in general is like, it's just like, why go with this approach when you know there are more incentives that we could have gone with? I guess, I mean, we talked about it before, the drawbacks, but I mean, even just experimenting with paying the kids. There was in the Netherlands, they pay their students to attend schools like K through 12, I think. I mean, we've seen it though. Households, especially abusive ones, like to take their kids' money.
Yeah.
So there are obviously drawbacks with it, but at the very least, they're in school, right? Like the acknowledgement of where the kids might have their money taken by their parents. At least they're still in school,
Yeah.
At least the parent will have an incentive to make their ass go. I'd obviously prefer they use the money to do something right instead of having to go do drugs or go do drug dealing to get that money, or even go work. Honestly, like they should probably just go enjoy being a kid. But that's that's a completely. Look, I'm not a DA, okay? I don't believe and taking poor people and throwing them in the box. But that's
Yeah.
Kamala for you.
Yeah. But then when she was directly there, she didn't. That's why like it feels weird. Like if it's like back and forth, it's half true, half not true.
It's bad to make a law and not
Yeah.
enforce it, I guess, on principle. It's like, why
Yeah.
even do it?
It's like you're trying to be a threat,
Mm-hmm.
which is bad. At least she didn't follow through with the threat with jail time. But then again, the people she did give fines to when she was the DA of San Fran directly overseeing these things, there were people who were pretty egregious.
Yeah.
People who
And,
missed. But then
like,
again, is that necessarily better? Maybe they should have just had child protective services go in and not fine poor people.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
look, if you are being neglectful, like, the CPS should probably come by and check.
Yeah.
So, and not having your kid go to school, I think, what was it, like 50 days or some crazy shit? That's too much.
Yeah, that's extreme, especially for like when you're in elementary school.
Oh,
Like,
oh, God.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. So, oh, we
That's
lost all our viewers. Goodbye, everybody.
yes.
Oh
Let's
no,
off
we're
for
just
brain. Yeah, the political surgeon. She does not seem like a political surgeon.
She is
No.
not.
It was very naive to believe that this law would have been implemented. And some people, like, I do agree that, oh, she didn't know what this could be used for. She shouldn't be oblivious to
Mm-hmm.
how this law could be used. It is very naive and, really incompetent to believe that, oh, this will be used the way that I thought it would be used. Like, people don't just take it in the way that you did it, Like, it's very dumb. It's such a huge oversight. Although, for me to think explicitly she did want to jail these people, I don't. It's a bit murky because she didn't when she was there. I mean, why wouldn't she have jailed people who literally had 50 absences? How bad did you have to be for her to jail you?
So here's another thing. I remember, what was it? So while Harris' role is not publicly known, she let's see. So it says here that she is a person who composed a brief seeking to. She basically composed a brief to deny LGBTQ prisoners gender affirming care. So, she says that she's personally against it, or at least supposedly she's against it. While Harris's role is not publicly known, the department agreed to a settlement in 2015 that requires it to consider gender affirmation surgery for incarcerated people on a case-by-case basis. So, it's one of those things where we can give her leeway because maybe her job makes it hard to be a good person, and she was as good as she could be in this situation. But it does go to show you that she did not have a transformative approach to being, to justice. Even Gascon is proof that while it is true you as a prosecutor have a job to do, and that is to punish people and to outline, punishment parameters, it doesn't have to be solely the stick approach. There isn't one way to skin the cat. And I mean, it's proof, right, that she is interested in maintaining her position, being a little bit of a climber. She's willing to go back and forth as needed. You could argue that this is a good example of her, what's the word? She's not committed, she is like Hillary in a lot of ways. She will see which way the wind's going and go with it. And that's not the most encouraging, But at the same time, let's look at her record as senator. Let's do a transition real quick. Unlike those people she had in prison. Sorry. It said here, oh yeah, I found the marijuana thing, by the way, like way too late. But basically, it's, what did she do what are some of the things she did? Well, she did the Whistleblower Protection Act.
Which it was specifically for COVID-19 funded programs. So if you were a program that was funded by COVID-19, she would try to push a bill. This one didn't make it in. So,
Mm-hmm.
sadly, a lot of these things don't make
Most
it
of the bills she sponsored don't make it.
in. Yeah.
Most of them
And
don't.
it was just supposed to protect them from calling out employees misusing the programs, which I would say is good. It shows some sign that she understands that whistleblowers need to be protected, but
Didn't extend to the rest of federal whistleblowers,
yeah,
which is great.
why not do it for everything else funded by the government?
Because she wants to be the one killing whistleblowers someday.
Yeah, it's like do it for stuff that won't necessarily affect her.
She also did the Equal Defense Act of 2019, which reinvigorated public defenders. And if you know anything about public defenders, they are overworked. These angels are
It's supposed to help, like, lower their workloads.
Yep. It's crazy. These people work hard as shit. And arguably the most thankless job, protecting poor people and representing poor people. Not even really protecting them, representing them. And they often, because of this overwork, they often have to get really bad deals, plea deals. And it's very, a lot of times too, like it's over sentencing. Like these people don't need to be punished that bad. If they had a lawyer who had the time, they could have easily gotten a lower sentence.
Yeah, it's also supposed to raise the pay of the public defenders to attract people who leave because of the pay. And at the end of the day, people do believe that you're better off paying for a private defense than a public defender, right? She's just trying to even the scale a little bit. How much will it actually have done? We don't know. It never got passed. But it shows that at least she cares for those things, that she does try to make it better. Like, I don't hear anybody else really talking about making public defenders better. That's something that, regular people would need.
Mm-hmm. She does a lot of this type of stuff. I mean, she's even pretty decent on the environment. It's what was it here? The only area she's bad though, now that we're on environment, because she's done a lot of, like, again, if you look through it, there's a lot of bills that she's done protecting certain areas and all that, adding more funding to certain departments. But then there's one huge thing: she is pro fracking. The thing about fracking, folks, is that most of the time fracking doesn't actually cause that much damage, right? But when it does cause damage, it's bad. You basically can't fix it. So it's probably not the most. The reason why we do fracking is because of the heavy regulations on drilling, and we're trying to find alternatives to drilling, to like offshore drilling, because the offshore drilling, you create the oil spills and fuck up over 9 billion animals and several hundred miles of coastline. So that's why we're trying to switch to fracking. But fracking can seep into ground aquifers. They can seep into water lines. They can seep into basically everything, from agriculture to your house to your lawn. I mean, it can make things very gross, essentially. And she has always kind of backflopped. She has always kind of flip-flopped on this. So here, I'll give you the article here. Article by Politico. Politico helps Kamala Harris rewrite history on fracking. Yeah, they did. Attempt to remake Kamala into something that is becoming extremely creepy. Vice Kamala campaign pledged to likely. God, I'm gonna lift this up. We are blocking so much stuff. Kamala would not ban fracking, rejecting what it called false accusations by Donald Trump. The observation in which Kamala Harris' campaign is responding here is neither false nor an accusation. It was until Friday evening Harris only stated a position on the matter, as Politico notes. The response by the Harris campaign came after the former president brought up Harris' statements made during her 2019 primary. In her 2019 primary, she was very pro-New Green Deal and ran to the left of Biden. But as we know, she's a flip-flopper opportunist, so the moment she was elected to VP, she threw that out. Now, does this mean that she might be better on the environment than Biden? Maybe. Do I think she would push something like the Green New Deal? I don't know. Because that's the problem, right? We're never even going to get to see her positions, because the bitch didn't even have to run, right? Effectively. So we're never going to get to know, and that's one of the most frustrating things. As we come away from this, my conclusion at first was, she's not that bad, to she kind of just benefits off the, oh my god, hey, was her getting elected to president nepotism?
You could say.
God damn! The ultimate climber. Oh.
The ultimate climber.
Oh my god. Look, I know Teddy got in there. He's one of our best presidents. Got in there on basically the similar way. But at least he got elected. He was elected first, okay, before his guy got shot, and he had to take over. Kamala is elected, but she's not. Man, it's just.
We'll see. Maybe she'll win. Maybe she won't.
She's a nepotism queen. That might be the title of the video.
Maybe.
I'm just Biden. Look, she can't fuck Biden, okay? If you fuck Biden, he's gonna die. Okay? He's gonna have a heart attack, and it's all over. It's all Jover, so they can't. Mulch and spill. Oh god.
Yep. Brain filter, mulch and spill.
God damn it, yeah. Gross. Kamala Harris, no question I would ban fracking. Yeah, that was back in 2019 when she was running. When basically everybody was running to the left of Biden. So.
And if she made the argument that, like, hey, be pro fracking because I want to get us off of Saudi Arabia's oil in the short term, I'd be like, okay, at least you're doing it for a reason I can sort of get behind.
Yeah, but for that to be valid, you need to be pro Green New Deal.
Yeah, you would need to also do the short term and long term.
Mm-hmm.
But blank slate.
She doesn't actually have to push any of her positions. She gets to run off ambiguity.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Is that conclusion wrong though? This woman really, her career, man, her career is filled with that shit.
Well, like being the VP, you can make more of the argument that it's not necessarily nepotism, but DEI. You can probably make a better argument through that way because, Biden did say, hey, picking a woman. But it's not like she was only picked because of it. She was also,
the VP and all that. But it's like
the DA, senator.
Yeah, but she didn't have to run, which is the worst part.
Well, yeah, she didn't have to put in as much work.
No work.
She was a VP. It fell in her lap. To be the candidate.
She's a Nepo queen. That's my working title now. Let's see, what else is there? So besides her, what about housing? The Rent Relief Act?
So the Rent Relief Act is a bill that she tried pushing forward, that she had sponsored, where she was going to give tax credits ranging anything from 25 to 100% of the excess amount for people who had to pay over 30% of their income toward their rent. And she did lock it to people making $100,000 to $125,000 if you lived in a high cost area. Some people would say that it's too high. I sort of agree too, but it's better than capping it at like fucking 30,000 and then not getting all of like middle lower like working class Americans. Some people they cut it too low. She's cutting it a bit high, but the idea that she is willing to give tax credits to these people, I think is good. This is the Rent Relief Act. People talk about how rent's too high, especially is in California.
Oh, it's horrible.
Some places in Texas, it's raising.
Everywhere.
Also, yeah.
Everywhere if you live near water, you're so fucking shit out of luck right now.
If you live in a city like a rural state, chances are it's growing. There's articles of places in Ohio where it's growing because people keep moving around. Housing prices go up. There's a lack of housing. Oof. And now she was trying to push forward a bill to get more tax credits for those people, but it didn't go through. But it shows that she was pro rent relief.
It's not bad. And during her time as VP, she's also made an economic tour where she will announced a $5.5 billion to boost affordable care. Now, you could argue this is Biden's agenda, but she gets to slap her face on it, and that's all we have to work on right now. The Economic Opportunity Tour, the new funding to 1,200 communities will build and preserve homes, lower housing costs, and support renters. Now, this is actually important because I'll add something I know from this. So I covered, there's a representative named Barragon. I covered her getting Houses for Humanity over a city over. And she explained to me that recently, if we can find the article, I'll try to put it in, editing Daniel will try to put it in. But basically, the federal government is now denying loans to any and all nonprofits. The only ones who can get it are things being ran directly by the government or with the government. And that cuts off a lot of people. So the significance of this package is absolutely huge because they like the federal government, the teat has been cut off effectively at this point. And that's probably a big reason why they're doing this, by the way, because of the fact that they cut off federal funding. They cut off federal loans and grants. Yeah. So it is huge. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is an amazing thing to do. And this is, again, one of those things where it's like, she did a good thing. And that's the problem here, is that, like, her legacy is so mixed up to this point. You know?
And if people were wondering where she was during her time as VP, it's like, this is one of the things. Also another thing where she did stuff for immigration for Biden. She was doing some things with her time. She was ordered to do a couple of things, but, you know, I'll say this is the better one. There's a thing she did with immigration where there's a thing to point out.
Oh, I have him. Let's go to immigration then.
Yeah. Because during her time as VP, there's an article I have where she was sent by Biden to go to it's called like the Northern Triangle in Central America. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the article, where she was basically sent to help reinvigorate the economies of these Southern American countries, where a lot of people were sending immigrants from Trump.
Basically trying to give them jobs and build up their country so they don't come here and build up their economy. Yeah,
and especially looking back during like Obama's time, that's where you get a bunch of those like buses full of kids, right? A lot of people coming in. Those countries are the ones where they're sending a lot. However, sadly, during Biden's time, by the time he started going in and doing the initiatives, it started swaying. It stopped being those countries. But still, there's a point to be made that he's trying to make it so that they don't want to leave their country because their countries are now more stable.
Specifically here, it says the White House said in March that Harris helped engineer $4 billion in government aid and commitments and $5.2 billion in private investments to create and support an estimated 250,000 jobs in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador.
Yeah.
So the problem with this is that basically it says down here that while it did help a little bit, the amount of money that people were sending home from America was $37 billion. Way more than anything. The amount of money immigrants were giving to their own families was higher than the government's investment.
Yeah.
It ain't
you
shit.
Look at like $9 billion in investments versus the yearly $37 billion they send back home.
It gives you an image as to the problem, the scale of these countries and the issues they're facing. They like need economic transformations. $9 billion is like pennies. It's nothing.
Bringing filter outside the U.S. infrastructure plus market is there. Well, talking about the market right there, if you go back to where it was, one of the companies they supported was Nespresso, owned by Nestle. And I thought, you know what, Nespresso, it zapped me in the brain. I was like, wait, I could have sworn I remember seeing something bad about Nespresso. And yeah, children as young as 8 coffee beans.
That was well timed on my part.
Starbucks. Yeah, it was.
God.
Yeah. So when you look at these markets, these U.S. companies going to South America, you look at Chiquita, you look at Coca-Cola. Recently, Chiquita was on the news for for armed squads killing people. Yeah, that's all coming out saying that water isn't a human right. You know, these American companies that are being supported to help reinvigorate South America to stop immigration.
The dispatches team said of the children who worked around 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, looked as young as 8. They were paid depending on weight of beans they picked. With a sack weighing up to 45 kilograms, they would typically make $5 a day, or less than $5 a day. So, and this was one of the companies that helped.
Sometimes as low as 31 cents an hour.
Yeah.
31 cents an hour? Just
31 pesos. 31
I don't know if that's pesos. I don't know, but I guess the idea is if it's the typical dollar of their country, this is the lower denomination.
What does P mean in money? Penny?
Which, let me see here.
Oh, it's pence. Oh, these British bastards are Guardian. 31 pence.
Oh no.
31 pence. 31 cents, yeah, basically. Or a little off because they're funny British money, but who cares?
At the end of the day, it's pennies on the dollar now.
Nothing.
right?
And
That's
this
the
is
reason
one of the
why these
companies.
American companies go to these South American
Is this one of the
countries.
companies that Harris sent the money towards?
Yes.
Ah, there
And
it
that's why I brought it
is.
up, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure one of these businesses did something bad, which George Clooney was the face of. He was doing advertising for them, and he came out, condemning them, saying like, "Oh, like Nespresso, what the fuck? You're doing child labor." And it's just fucked. Like the typical like liberal politics. Let's go help, but the help is always entwined with horrible shit.
I looked it up. 1.25 cents. So 5 pence is like 6-7 cents.
That's nice.
That's wonderful. Hey, Montel Williams.
And then you want to know how the first world can get stuff so cheap. And what's fucked up is not even that cheap.
Not even that cheap anymore.
But imagine if Starbucks wasn't getting beans from people, from kids, getting paid 7 cents an hour. God damn.
Oh yeah.
People think slavery's gone. It's like, man, it was just sort of pushed to other countries.
I made this point before, but like people like to say like, oh, living in America is better than living in China. Definitely. But when it comes to like foreign occupation, damn, does it not make a difference? Like, you're Puerto Rico. Sure, you're Puerto Rico. Sure, they're not going to like, Xinjiang Providence you or whatever. Or well, not Xinjiang. What was it? Where the Uyghurs are. Sure,
Yeah,
they
Uyghurs.
won't. Sure, they won't give you the Uyghur treatment. But if your entire island gets like hurricaned for the millionth time, have fun. Unfucking yourself. Let's see. Everybody wants easy life.
From Brain Filter.
You're not wrong.
I mean,
You're not wrong. Look,
I'm pretty sure that kid would like an easier life.
Oh, look, man. Like, everybody got to work in life, and I think the one thing that Americans have an issue with is that we have habits and lifestyles that are completely only possible because of the amount of exploitation that goes on around the world. I mean, like, for God's sake, we're paying children 6 cents a day to pick our coffee. So, Yeah, sorry, go on. How about that?
I was just gonna reiterate, like, how expensive would your cup of coffee be if you didn't have people working for a couple cents across the ocean? All like clothing, right? You look at this shit. It's from Bangladesh. It's from like some off country where they're just getting really cheap labor. How expensive would it be if it was all American made? Which is a question people bring up when they're like, "Oh, let's bring back American companies, American steel." It's like, yeah, okay. What about American clothing? What about American?
Actually, a huge thing.
Like, if you did all this stuff, it would be very expensive.
A huge,
lose a shit ton of jobs.
point of contention right now in the world, especially for women. Especially women talk about it online more than men do. But fast fashion. Apparently, fast fashion, I think, was like the second or third most polluting industry. Like, it's stupid the amount of pollution they make. And the amount of their clothes just get dumped in landfills and in the ocean. It's crazy. Yeah. Because half the stuff they make falls apart while it's on your body. You put it through a wash, you put it through 2 washes, and it's disgusting. It's stretched out, ripped. And, basically clothes are not supposed to be consumable items. Not in that way, at least. They're consumable in the same way like a fridge is consumable. It's supposed to last you a while. It's not supposed to...
Yeah.
Not supposed to go through a few days of wear and then out into the garbage,
Like, the shitty trap is that, let's say we did have, like, clothing that lasts a long time, which it's just very expensive and more niche.
Unfortunately,
most people can't really afford it.
Well, it would have to be the economy of scale, right? It's like none of the investment went into making high quality clothes on a large level. It's like most of that shit went into what's the minimum? Like how thin, Adam's thin, can we make the clothes? Like,
Some of it is also the culture. Like, you want to buy new stuff. I mean, seasonal clothing. The fact you want to wear different colors, different seasons. Prada, you want to wear designer. What, you want a designer clothes that last forever? People wear it for a week and then throw it out.
And straight up, throw it out. That is the one crazy thing though that does piss me off a little bit about fast fashion. Like, in particular, I can understand buying cheap clothes. That's totally understandable. But, like, the people who buy, like, Gucci and Prada, like, trying to look rich, it's so stupid. You can afford, like, craftsman-level shit, and you're getting the cheap, like, branded gear. Like, oh, my God, man. Like, that's so trashy. Like, You could get a nice pair of shoes, but you rather get like the most basic ass brand you could find instead of getting them like tailor made for you, which is something you can afford. Cost the same, but and it'd be nicer, but no, you gotta keep up the appearance. It's so lame. It's lame, big lame. Government. But that's just because I'm poor and I can't afford it. I'm telling you, if I was rich, I would just get all my shit fitted. Like, anyway. Let's see, what's this? The Congress bills that Bill of Rights Act? Domestic workers.
I think there was one other immigration thing.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Let me see.
Oh yeah, I skipped it.
There was the ad.
Oh, the ad. Okay, let's do it.
God, because this is a new ad.
On the border,
a tactic that they're trying. And God, fuck. Make sure to share the audio.
It didn't share again. Oh, I keep forgetting.
Oh, I don't know if it has. Oh, I don't know if you.
No, I keep forgetting.
On the border, the choice is simple. Kamala Harris supports increasing the number of Border Patrol agents. Donald Trump blocked a bill to increase the number of Border Patrol agents. Kamala Harris supports investing in new technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Donald Trump blocked funding for technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Kamala Harris supports spending more money to stop human traffickers.
Oh no, it's unlisted!
Yeah, it was
Oh
unlisted.
no! You guys fucked up.
Money to stop human traffickers. Kamala Harris prosecuted transnational gang members and got them sentenced to prison. Trump is trying to avoid being sentenced to prison. There's two choices in this election. The one who will fix our broken immigration system, and the one who's trying to stop her.
Trying to stop her. Oh my God, Hillary Clinton, where the fuck? Why are you writing Democrat ads?
Spinning in her grave.
Bitch is still writing ads for the Democrats, I see.
I'm just concerned about taking a hard on the border stance. Some of it, being against fentanyl coming in, transnational gangs. That's good. Talking about getting more border patrol agents, being hard on the border. I'm a little concerned. I'm like, are you really going to get these people?
Yeah, brain filter. ... Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, is this the tactic? Is this how you get people in the middle? Are you trying to get JD Vance's state where they got affected by the opioids? Are you trying to
look? Just get Mark Kelly if you really want the safe option. Everybody's glazing Mark Kelly. I like the man. He's an astronaut. He's like, he's not the greatest on some stuff.
Astronaut.
But he's a fucking spaceman, and I really want space investment. So cool.
I don't know if you're gonna save the Democrat image of being soft on the border. I don't know if you can do that.
You can say Mark Kelly might, but that he's the only. He's right now the only pick.
The state.
I mean, I think he helped secure the border states in general.
Yeah.
Mark Kelly. Yeah. But this is a weird look. This is going to be a fun time because she's pressing on the fact she's a prosecutor, but it's it's just everything she's done in office. Look, if she is willing to actually do some changes while she's in office, that'd be great. But man, oh man, oh man, the more we learn, the worse it's getting. But hey, she was cool to farm workers, Fairness to Farm Workers Act, and she was cool with the domestic bill of rights. It gave people more wages and helped domestic workers. It keeps happening where we go back and forth between her being terrible and her being good.
Yeah, if you look at her stuff bills that she sponsored that she may put into the Senate for labor. One was to get farm workers get overtime pay, 1.5 times pay for working more than 55 hours and bringing that down to 40 hours. Because I guess before it was that you had to work over 55 hours in a week to get overtime pay. But then she brought it down to 40. It did not pass. But she was for this. She tried pushing the bill in the Senate. And that's good. I mean, getting workers overtime pay, that's basic stuff that should be, that should be law. Domestic Workers Bill of Rights Act, getting rid of the wage exception for living domestic workers. So the people who are house cleaners, nannies, and stuff that live in the house, they'd have exemptions where they could be paid less money because they live inside the place. They're supposed to make it so that they can't be paid lower than minimum, helping them get basic worker rights, getting a letter for the termination, having agreements on having time off. privacy rights.
Is this
Basic
one?
things.
This
However,
is.
this is just for one area.
She also helped
Might-
farm workers as well. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where we got it over here somewhere. Yeah, over here it's at HR 3194. It only got introduced. It never went anywhere.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. A lot of these things got introduced, didn't go anywhere. Some of the bills that she did introduce, they got somewhere, were like things for like historic lands and statues. But this
Very
stuff, the more
milquetoast
ambitious
stuff.
things, did not make it.
Yeah, she has a lot of introduced art things. Very little success. Hope
Yeah.
that isn't what happens when
Which
she's president.
I'm not exactly going to blame her for it not being that successful. Like the one that was supposed to be for legalizing marijuana, it died in the Senate Finance Committee. They just never got around to hearing it. They didn't even deny it. It just time ran, and now they have to push it again. They're pushing it again in the House, so it gets passed and then put through the Senate. Generate headlines. I mean, she could push it for generating headlines.
Yeah, no, that's a completely fair point.
From brain filter.
Brain filter. They always like that. That is how it works. You know, the
Some people make
media.
that argument for AOC's Green New Deal.
It was so thorough. I mean, you could argue it was. You could argue that like, oh, she knew it wasn't going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But at least it was a fully like laid out plan. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know about whether. I mean, did it?
Although, like, oh, is this a shortcut?
There a
I'm
bill
not sure
summary?
what they mean by shortcut. But for generating headlines, I don't know why. Like, would the domestic workers stuff generate headlines? Like,
Yeah, labor unions are pretty powerful.
But like, I don't remember it ever getting that big.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't have to be that big. If we're talking about like city, if we're talking about her just trying to get support in her city, then and hell, even like you gotta remember too, lines of news kind of are. It's kind of weird. You know what I've noticed
like,
about?
They're bubbles.
Yeah, it's like union
Bubbles.
news kind of sitting in its own in territory. It's weird. Is that a shortcut? What's a shortcut to?
Yeah, I'm not sure what brain filter means by shortcut.
Yeah, I'm
Like
sorry,
shortcut
brain.
to making a headline.
I mean, the
guess so.
media and the politicians work together. They've always have because
Yeah.
media people want content, politicians want awareness. So it's just it's speaking as somebody who's basically worked with them like that. It's pretty common.
Symbiotic relationship.
At its best, at worst, it can be incestuous. But fucking don't mean nothing, does it? I'm sorry. I'm being petty. I'm being petty. I'm just fucking around. Listen, but yeah, she again though, we keep doing this bouncing back and forth of like good and bad, and it makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Is
It makes
she
me like? Sorry, go on.
No, you go on. I was kind of gonna ramble, to be honest. Just go for it.
I'll just say, because I see a lot of people talk about her being like, basically Republican, cop Kamala, really horrible. But then looking deeper into her stuff, I'm like, well, a little bit, yeah, a little bit, no. Like, she doesn't seem to be as bad as many people make her out to be. She wasn't leading like a huge charge to get people into jail when she was there. She was pro ending the death penalty, not pursuing it.
She was
And
questionable.
she did have highlights of like
Oh, yeah.
not getting the DNA testing. She had highlights of
The
not
scandal with her
knowing-
labs.
Scandal with the labs.
It's a thing where she, like, as a DA, she did not she kept the same tact and approach, which at the very least gives me pause about how well she'll be in terms of justice around the country, because she might honestly just take that hardline stance. She might embrace her fact like she is a cop, and even if she is softer on crime than what she was as a DA,
She might just pass a law like she did in California, which allows them to be very hard on crime.
a lot of discretionary bills, you know?
Yeah.
So, or a lot of bills that allow for discretionary action and judgment, which is good if you're in a liberal state, terrible if you're not. So
Yeah.
it's like giving judges. It's like one thing that I would love to see is like the taking away minimum sentencing for certain stuff like marijuana possession. But the problem is that like I think they made it discretionary for some stuff like that, And that is a perfect example of why in some states it is like a fine and they take your weed and they throw it in a trash can. And then in other states it is 25. It is a long ass time. I think in Texas
Yeah.
it's very hard. So it's like, God. She is not a great candidate, but the problem is that the bar right now is in hell. You know, Trump is the bar, and the bar is so far that it's like, I'm just looking at her record and I'm like, oh, she didn't actively like destroy everything when she was in office. Wow. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you
And
think?
like how many people really were like how many people were affected by the truancy stuff? I mean, I was in a more left-wing part of California where
Mm-hmm.
I grew up. I missed a lot. I would say that I also had a lot of unexcused. I did have excused absences, but I also had a lot of unexcused absences. And my parents didn't go to jail. I would hate it. I would be very angry at the fucking state of my parent went to jail, but she did not. So like it seems like God, this
You know, that's another good
is
point too.
mixed.
You bring up brain filter. I think. Oh shit. We're approaching the end, but I think that is a good point to bring up, which is, do they let me make another one? Okay, they're not letting me make. Oh wow, no, they didn't. Okay. Basically, shit. No, that's a great point, brain filter. The fact that a part of the reason we knew. Cool. Open. 1 second, y'all. We are doing the background right now. Howdy, howdy. Basically, the problem with it is, brain filter brought it up in the comments. Yeah, we won't really be able to hold her to account because she
Yep.
didn't have to make any promises, anything. Like, she gets to be a complete fucking enigma while she's running the goddamn country. And it's one of those things where I don't know. It's like you want to make young people cynical on politics. Keep doing this. Keep doing this shit where you don't give them options, where you pick their candidates for them. Keep doing that. I don't know if you like at the end of the day people are like, "Oh, we need to vote for Biden because harm reduction." That's completely fair. But do not lie. People are being disenfranchised actively from the process. Look, whether or not you think the choices are even valid or legitimate in terms of their chances on winning, because let's be real, like if you've seen the last couple of years of Democrats, it's been pretty bad. Besides for the Progressive Party, it's been a bunch of, pretty lackluster candidates.
Yeah.
God, Dean Phillips. Like, anyway, guy's an ice cream cone. Guy's a vanilla ice cream cone on a vanilla wafer. Like vanilla ice cream, it's just plain as fuck. It's one of those things where this is not a good future for the Democrats to keep doing. Like this is not a working strategy. This might be exaggeration on my end, hyperbole. But I remember my professor, one of my journalism professors, saying there's a switch in the parties every 30 years. And we're already kind of overdue for that switch with Clinton's reforms in the 90s. And now the Democrats are effectively stopping their own primaries. Like, it is, it is not good. This is, like, the Democrats might be spelling their own doom as we speak right now, what do you think?
Wasn't it Clinton with a 3-strike rule?
Yeah, Clinton had the 3-strike rule and all that, and the
crime bill,
tough on crime.
Which Kamala said that she was not as much for. Like when she was a DA in the early 2000s, she said that she'll only do it if it was 3 felonies that were violent.
But do you think like what do you think the consequences of this continuing, like them just picking their fucking candidates for us, like
only gonna get worse?
Do you think this might kill the party? Might finally actually get around to snuffing it out, or at the very least splitting it? I think
I don't know if it'll. It depends on what happens. Like, what is she going to do?
Mm-hmm.
If she's a good enough snake, she won't be overtly against certain crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say there's a bunch of protests. Will she be like a Trump and clear out protests?
Probably not.
The way that Trump did. Like she probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
Will she be a border czar? Maybe, but that's not really enough to flip the party.
The problem I'm guessing is that how would you feel though if the next generation, because like Gen Z is not in the age group yet to be mostly to be like what was it, Democratic voters? What's the electoral voters? They're not at that age quite yet. The Gen Xers or the millennials are there right now. I don't know if it bodes well for the Democrats to completely lock out Gen Z for a few generations. Because eventually they will be the ones who are the electoral voters, and I wonder what the consequences will be on the party for them being actively denied for so long. Because it's crazy, the fact that she didn't even have to run like that. That's the problem that I realized that's been hampering this entire deep dive. We can't even fully understand where she's coming from because she's flip-flopped so much. She's been in so many positions. She's had so many nepotistic opportunities. We don't know what she's going to do. We don't even have a clear broadcast anymore.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have commitments. The bitch doesn't even have to commit to anything.
She is the empty candidate.
She literally gets to do whatever she wants. At best, we could say maybe she gets to continue Biden's legacy, but no one likes Biden's legacy. If anything, she should separate herself from Biden's current agenda. So, it's like, she gets to be an empty suit. She gets to just have free reign. I don't know if this is a sustainable tactic for the Democrats to continue having closed primaries like this. Or no primaries like this, but who knows,
I mean, the polls might show that it's sustainable. She's polling a lot better than Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, she's neck and neck in the swing state. She's really up in Michigan.
Are there any other options for polls though besides her?
Well, yeah. Right now, there's none.
Yeah.
There's none.
It's just like,
but I don't know. I guess I'm not sure what you're getting at with with Kamala being in, if she goes further right.
There's discontent in the fact that we're not even involved in their choice making anymore. Like they basically picked Biden twice. Let's be honest.
Well, some people would argue that technically you were. You chose Biden and Biden chose Kamala to be the VP.
We didn't really choose Biden the second time.
That is true. We didn't even choose Biden the first time.
Arguably, not even the first time, yeah.
It was all the endorsements.
So
which they all decided, you know what, let's get behind the VP.
And I think they're doing this because they recognize the increasingly large progressive base in their party. And they're trying their best to gatekeep that as much as possible.
The dissolution might happen when Trump is gone. Let's say Kamala wins or Trump wins after 4 years. Because I don't know if Trump's going to run again if Kamala wins.
Dude, if Trump runs at 81...
what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's where dissolution might happen. Because if you're not voting against them...
there's nothing left for them to run on, yeah.
Yeah, because all the polls show that people are voting against Trump and not exactly for a Democrat.
Look at history, though. Obama did lead to Trump, too. So who's to say that another 8 years of Democratic disenfranchisement wouldn't just lead to a more far-right conservative?
It could.
Which it did in the past, and it might just go it again. Because,
maybe we'll get Trump 2.0. Maybe one of his sons will run. Maybe we'll get a J.D. Vance in there.
And on a moral level, just on my end, a moral level, we want to defend democracy, and we're not even practicing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem, I guess, with this, too. Like, if I'm being self-reflecting for a moment, we, like, the whole call of defending democracy, it's like, man, I wish the Democrats would fucking practice it. Like, God,
Yeah. Well, if you want me to be cynical, if you go back in American history, things were a lot less democratic. You didn't even really get to choose. It would be like your state legislators would choose who their choice would be for the primary.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to be Mr. Cynical historian here.
Oh no! Now it's
the most democratic they ever were compared to old times.
No, they're not.
It's funny when you talk about Republicans want to go
How
back
old
to the 50s.
though? How old times? Because like I feel like we had better primaries just a few years ago.
Yeah, I'm talking about going back to like the 50s.
Yeah, because like in recent history, it's been better. I can't believe it, but like even I'm just like, man, Obama and Mitt Romney. I might just that was something. That was better times. Way better times, yeah. So, oh god, I think I might have to take this fucking thing down and re-edit it because there's a lot.
Well, I think most of it's good. It's just the Gavin Newsom and Kamala nepotism part that got like it became too long.
A little stumbly on my end. Though,
other than that, I mean, I guess cut this end piece maybe at the beginning a little bit. But
Add a thumbnail.
yeah,
It's but yeah, I think we're near the end, but you know,
yeah.
hopefully we can do
Going
better.
on for over 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll call you after and we'll discuss a bit more. But should we take this stream down, or do you want to keep it up? I can download it and re-edit and post
Maybe
it later.
take it down for now.
All right. Well, thank you all who watched it. We appreciate you being here. Goodbye. Have a good one. We will re-upload this one soon. I just want to edit it and clean it up a little bit because, well, besides our debate, which I probably will keep in the debate, I might cut out the debate and put it somewhere else, separate from this. But we will re-upload it later, hopefully with a thumbnail and a little less us searching around for articles. So, yeah. But for now, please enjoy what's coming. I believe there should already be a video up today, and there will be one up tomorrow. And there will be more clips up soon. So, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.